Welcome back to Nerd is the New Cool. I'm Justin. With me as always, my good friend, Mr. John Lambert.
How's it going, everybody?
Joined also in the studio here, another Lambert, frequent guest, Mr. Andrew Lambert.
Hey, everybody.
Recurring guest. I think
I was going to say.
I'm not a
Is he-
regular
is he
yet,
approaching the record?
but no.
We'll have to
no
go back
way.
and check who's been on the show the most, but you're pretty close.
You're up
It's-
there.
You guys are a ton of fun. So you ask and I come. That came out weird, but there we go.
Well,
That'll be on the outtakes.
that's a perfect transition to where were you in 1999? And what humor do you think was really popular then? So we are here to talk about, we're going to do a draft of 1999.
Yep.
It's been 25 years, so let's start with our guest, Andrew. Where were you in 99?
I was graduating Mizzou, starting my first job, moving to Kansas City. So yeah, kind of starting adulthood-ish, I guess.
Yeah. Adulthood, air quotes,
Yeah, I mean,
Adulthood.
to the extent that anybody's actually an adult.
in their early
In their-
20s.
Yeah, well,
Getting
or in
their
their
first job.
or in their late 40s. Let's be fair.
That's true.
So
I know where you were, John.
I
in
know where you were.
1999. We were roommates or graduating high school.
Exactly.
So the question, though, I want to ask you is like, what do you remember about that time? Like the way you were living life, just what was going on like in 99? What do you think of when I say 1999?
I think of the summer between probably high school and college. I mean, obviously, like graduating high school was a big deal, and then going to Mizzou, like pledging the fraternity, like that was kind of dominated the second half, or the second half of the year, obviously. But like that summer between high school and college was just kind of like, I don't know, it was a good summer.
I think that 99 is interesting for both of us because it's wrapping up high school, which is like ending one chapter of your life.
Mhm. A big chapter.
That weird transition period where it's like, what am I doing now? What do I want to do with my life? Do I even care about that at all? Like
I didn't think about
we
that
were
at all.
rushing and doing things like that, hanging out with friends and saying goodbye to a lot of people that frankly we haven't seen probably.
A lot of
since
people that
then.
we haven't talked to.
And then we transitioned to college and it's like, okay, now we are, I guess quasi adults, not what you were at that point, Andrew. Obviously, you went through this whole process too, so you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
But now, now we're kind of on our own a little bit in the fraternity, dealing with what it's like to be a college student, what it's like to be a pledge, what it's like to just be having to buy toilet paper for yourself, things
Well,
like that.
And yeah, and it's a lot of that. And closing that chapter was kind of like it was more than just high school. It was K through 12. Like, I mean, I know for both of us, like we were in the Clayton School District the entire time, knew the same people, went to school with the same people the whole time, still friends with some of them today. So it's like it was a large chapter, obviously, a large chapter to close. And then yeah, I mean, the Clayton bubble is real. Of just like kind of just anything west of 270 was like a foreign country.
You're
and
generous. I knew people who didn't go west of 170.
170, yeah. And then now, yeah, like you said, like going to Mizzou and like just figuring everything out.
Well, yeah, and you get to college, and there are a lot of like cultural like intersections. People that you're with that come from a really small town, somewhere in the middle of God knows where,
Other side
Missouri.
of the state, Kansas City.
Or some people who are from like different states or different areas of the world. Like it was just really like a
Journalism majors.
Yeah, right. That's what the
Yes,
journalism majors were.
AKA J School.
Yeah, the J School.
So it was just a really interesting time, and I think that's going to really speak to kind of like what we're going to be talking about today,
Yeah.
what we're going to be drafting, and kind of where we were mentally in 1999, and what still holds up for us 25 years later.
And I think
Right.
I mean, the fact that it was 1999 and, going into 2000, like that was a really big deal for the people that were your age, my age, that kind of thing. Just because like, oh shit, it's a new millennium. It's a new,
Right.
like we're rolling over a new number at the front of the year. Like that, that doesn't happen
Kind of a big deal.
very often.
I guess it's worth mentioning too that late '99. There's this whole. You know what? No, I'm going to
Don't
save it.
say
Save that.
Because we're
Save
gonna-
that.
there are
Save
gonna be
that. I
some
know where you're
things-
going.
Don't
Save
say
that.
that.
Save that.
Right.
The
Okay.
other thing I want to say, I want to mention this because for John and my family, this was a big deal. Of the 5 Lamberts that lived in St. Louis, 4 of us got degrees. So John and Matt graduated high school. I graduated undergrad, and our mom got her master's.
Yeah. And Dad was in a graduation because he did that every year.
And Dad participated in a graduate. I tried to pressure him to find like an associate's degree, like
Right.
to cram it in really quick, just
something.
to round out the cycle. But
Get something.
he didn't.
No,
So
he
so yeah, it was a big year for the Lamberts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big year for the Lamberts for sure.
Yep.
So the draft. What's our goal? Same as all the other drafts we've done before. We're basically trying to pick the best team. Of course, that's subjective. We'll argue about it off the air as well. But then we'll also post some pictures online so you can kind of check out which ones are your favorite. And obviously, we love the feedback. And
Sidewell will tell us who won.
feel free
Or the spouses will.
The spouses will.
Yeah, okay. Vote for Justin. How are we going to actually go
Vote
about
for Pedro.
drafting? So here are the categories we're getting into. We're going to draft movie drama, movie comedy / romance, movie sci-fi, fantasy, action, suspense, horror. I know that's kind of like a catch-all almost.
Yeah,
but
we didn't want 4 movie categories.
yeah, it's a little bit too much. TV show. Now, this is a TV show that debuted in '99, not like a TV show that was popular, because that basically would be
Everything.
a lot of movies.
Seinfeld.
We've
Friends.
got, yeah, right? I mean,
Right.
we could have done shows that wrapped up in '99. That would have been fun.
That's good.
Album, song / single, and then also artist. Now, a little bit of rules we talked about as far as the album, song, and artist is that if you pick the artist, you cannot pick an album or a single from that person for that year.
It was an artist that debuted that year.
That
Debuted that
right.
year. Yeah.
If you pick an album that came out that year, you also cannot pick a song or a single. But if someone picks a song or a single from an artist, if the album or the artist is not off the board, you can pick another song from that person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Book that came out in '99, popular event that I almost spoiled, but I think we all know what I'm talking about.
Well, I do.
And
We'll
then
get there.
wild card. This can be anything. This can be a repeat of one of the categories,
You
or
forgot wild card?
No, I didn't forget wildcard. I just forgot a leg of research that I had planned to do. So,
No.
oh well. John
On the fly.
because he fucking does
you're
that.
smart.
No.
Well, so wild card would be anything from this category, but also in the past, you guys especially have picked like something super obscure. which that'll
I've
be-
got some pretty obscure ones here. Yeah.
Good.
I can go obscure, but I probably won't. But there'll be some honorable mentions that'll be
Oh,
obscure.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we'll do honorable mentions at the end. So, all right, getting to the order. So we're gonna
Actually,
have
just really quick
Okay,
before we
go
start, I have to make a correction to the '94 draft because
Okay.
I was remiss in one of my selections in the album. The album that was released in '94 that I did not mention was Grassroots from 311. Literally my favorite band in the world. I've seen them a
Yeah.
million times in concert, and I fucking failed. So
Terrible.
with that,
hopefully you can make amends today.
I will.
I'm not sure you can do it for 311, but just
I
as-
can't. Well, not specifically, but yeah,
As a
yeah,
person.
I'll work it out.
Yeah, he'll figure something out. Wild card.
I could not say it.
You can pick anything in wild card. So there you go.
Producer Justin, he's going to spin the magic wheel and give us our order. And this is going to be snake style. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, and then start again 3, 2, 1. Who's picking first?
Here we go.
No whammies. No whammies.
No whammies. No whammies. No whammies.
Oh, John, Lambert
Stop.
gets it.
Man, that's a bunch of BS.
Boom. Ha ha. I think I got first last time too.
I think you did too.
I think you did.
This is rigged. Your
And
bottle's coming.
I
so
demand a recount.
Oh,
I know how this goes, so it's going to be me.
That's Justin.
Number 2. I don't like 2. I don't like being
Yeah,
in the
you
middle.
don't like being in the
Two's the
middle.
least
I like
interesting.
to be
Yeah,
on
you get to
the
pick
on the
twice.
turn.
You like
It's
the
nice-
back
it's fun
to
to
back.
pick twice.
I
You
always
like
like
the
on the
back-to-back.
turn, but that's okay. It'll
First
give me,
pick. That's a lot of pressure.
it'll give me more time to think. Okay. So, well, without further ado, first pick, Lambert, what are you going with?
I mean, there are a ton of options, and there are probably no bad choices, but there is only one right choice, and it's The Matrix.
That is the right choice.
I was curious if that was going to be. I feel like there's a couple.
There again, like there are a couple bonus. Like I could have gone a couple different directions, and I don't think anybody would argue with it. But we did an episode on The Matrix, so like I can't like. If you want to know why I picked it, just listen to that episode.
Mhm.
And
Oh my god, yeah. You
I
guys
don't
did.
think I don't think I need to say anything else that we didn't already say in that one. So
Yeah,
There you go.
you guys did the episode on the Matrix, and I actually paused the episode to watch the film.
yeah,
and then came back to it. That's such a good movie.
What category is that going in?
that is going in the movie sci-fi action.
Okay.
It's definitely not a drama.
I would agree. Okay, so my next pick. So this, I think that for me, there are 2 right answers now as well. But the problem is that I think there are some categories here that are actually pretty thin. And you guys probably
I would
won't-
agree. No, I would totally agree with that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
there are
I'm-
some thin ones.
Mhm.
I'm gonna hop in there and I'm just gonna destroy everyone's life real quick, super early. And if you're not into this kind of genre, then you really won't care. But I'm going for artists that debuted in 1999 with Eminem.
God damn it!
Yep.
I think that saves. I mean, that may screw up
I
some
think you
drafts
could-
later on.
I think you could have done art or album. Wait,
What?
I don't think he debuted in '99.
I think he did.
I think
No, he had a self-release before that.
Well, okay, so I guess so his release of the album 1996, and then all right, I guess Some Shady EP was in '96. Okay, I butchered that. Never mind. I'll take that back. Unpick, undraft.
Never mind.
All right, well then I guess I got to go with. Well, I'm still going with Eminem, but then I'm just
gonna
switching
say,
my
you gotta-
categories.
He's gonna do the album.
I'm gonna go with the album, right? So I'm gonna go
Yeah,
I was
with
gonna say like he wasn't on my list of people. that
Slim
debuted.
Shady.
Yeah, he would have been the top of my list.
Slim Shady LP.
Yeah, of course.
Slim Shady LP. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Slim Shady LP.
that
And-
is legit.
okay. So sorry about that. I'm just I'm stupid.
Hey, that's why we're here. Checks and balances.
That's good. Well, this is the first time I knew about Eminem. I think that's
I think this
it's
is the first time
almost
anybody.
Everybody
unless you were in Detroit, that was it. Yeah.
Right.
some of the songs that are from that album. Since no one else can pick them, I'll go ahead and throw out there. It's My Name Is, and then also Guilty Conscience.
That was at the top of my list
Yeah.
for singles that year.
So he might. I'm sure he'll come up later on in the conversation too with some other things. But I was already into rap before then. I even say often to like people I communicate with, they're talking about like current artists. I'm like I was really into kind of gangster rap. Like I really was Snoop Dogg, Dre, Tupac, Biggie. I mean all the big ones, right? Nas,
Dude.
whatever. So like
Our entire senior year, all we did was drive around in your Jeep and listen to Outkast, Aquemini, and Slick Rick.
thank you, Slick Rick, Bone Thugs.
That's all we did.
So,
On repeat.
to say that he was an impactful, I mean, then along comes Eminem, and he's this guy that's being produced by Dre, and all of the East Coast, West Coast stuff seems to be over with. And I don't know, I feel like it just kind of launched like a new type of not type of rap, but like a new era
A new era.
of
for
rap.
sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was definitely like another pendulum swinging against a lot of the boy bands and pop artists.
And
that
he wasn't shy about saying it.
Kind of constantly talks about.
specifically right, like
Yeah.
the anti.
He called out a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Including
In
some
that-
including some people who we might talk about later in the episode.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go
All right,
a little bit
back
off
to back.
book,
Here we
but-
go.
But this is important to me. So for TV show, it's probably not the one that you guys are going to pick, but The West Wing was appointment television for me for years when it came out.
That was at the
mean,
top of my list.
Yeah, was it?
Oh,
Okay,
absolutely.
surprising.
Me too.
Loved that show, and actually like have watched it since. It holds up. It's a fantastic
Do I?
show.
I've never seen it.
I just watched it last summer for the 20th time, probably. I
Yeah.
don't even know.
Yeah.
It's a
never
great.
seen it.
Oh,
I need to
You've
see
never
it.
seen it?
I've never seen it.
Oh my god, dude, it's so good.
It's on my list of things to do,
It's
but I've never seen it.
it's so good.
I feel like as
Martin
a history,
Sheen, like I wish he had run for president.
Yeah.
No, he can't.
No,
He can't.
But I mean, if you like Aaron Sorkin, if
Mhm.
you like,
I do.
just- I mean, even movies like The American President and things like that. Like,
Yeah.
it's-
No, I
it's
love all
living
that.
in
I love all those
universe.
movies. I just never.
It's so
It
good.
was never on my radar for some reason. Don't know why.
Well,
I,
give it a watch.
I,
I agree with you, Andrew. It totally.
I
Holds
hear
up.
nothing but good things, so it's not like I'm like boycotting it or anything like that. I just haven't done it.
I think what's fun too about it is that like it was great. Obviously, when you had the original cast, right?
Yeah.
Even with Rob
Yeah.
Lowe,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it totally shifts at a certain point. Now you're getting like additional actors and actresses in it, and even like when you have Santos,
Yeah.
the new president that comes in,
Yeah.
it's played by I'm totally blanking on his name right now, but Jimmy Smits.
Jimmy Smits.
Thank
That's
you.
right. That's right.
Thank you, Justin. I feel like it didn't lose anything.
No, I agree.
And Aaron Sorkin even leaves after 3 seasons or something like that, and he still just continues to. It's just banger after banger.
The writing is so good. The dialogue is so good. The scenes where they're walking through the halls of the West Wing and talking and whatever, like it's just an excellent show. So if you're listening to this and you haven't seen the West Wing and you like political dramas, have a watch.
I'm probably the only person that hasn't seen it, so it's okay.
It's not. You never know. You never know. Okay, so I get
you might
second
be
pick.
though.
I might be. I might be. I
You
might
could be.
Just slip through the cracks.
I'm gonna go movie drama, and I had another movie as my top action. So this is drama, Fight Club.
Fuck yeah! Damn you.
It's surprising it lasted that long. I thought maybe with you sneaking West Wing in there, I would somehow be able to.
I had
snag
two,
it
so
up.
that's why
But that would have
I
been
yeah,
shocking if
Fucking
I'd actually been able to get that.
Such a good movie.
excellent movie. I actually watched that this summer with
Do we need to add that to the list?
with my son.
Yeah, how have we not talked
How are you
about
gonna
that yet?
how are you gonna
Howard.
cram that in? Well, you just do an office episode on it or something.
We'll just
do it.
We'll just do it on Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watched it with my 19-year-old son this past summer, and even he was fooled. So in the big reveal at the end, when you figure out that the two characters are the same, even he was like, wait, what the fuck?
Oh yeah.
It was awesome.
I mean, and this is the time. This is when this was really like movies like that were just
Yeah.
going off, right? There were a lot of different films that were like the ending. We're not sure you're gonna know what it is. It's kind of a little bit of a twist.
Super twisty, whatever.
David Fincher obviously is one of my favorite filmmakers of all time.
Absolutely.
He's incredible. Personally, I mean, for me, like David Fincher, Seven, also another big banger that he made.
Yeah. Excellent.
Back in the
Excellent
day.
film.
Yeah. So, have you guys seen Zodiac? By the way, I'm sorry, I don't mean to do a tangent.
No,
Did you ever see
have
Zodiac?
No, have
Okay.
not.
I just had someone also talking to me about Social Network. Like a
That's good.
student had brought that up recently.
That is
the other
good.
day.
That's a
I've
good
seen
one.
that.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
a good one. That's Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah.
He wrote it.
Did he really?
I think so.
So he wrote that, and then David Fincher directed it.
I'm pretty sure.
That's why it's a good movie.
That's a hell of a good movie. Either way,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a documentary of Zodiac on Netflix right now, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about David
That's right.
Fincher.
Yeah.
And Fight Club. Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies of all time, and it's one of those you watch back through too, and you're like, oh, like how did I not actually notice this?
Yeah, totally.
Similar to the one that I'm sure a movie
Like
that's
there's
gonna go
little
off
there's
board in a
little
minute.
breadcrumbs kind of throughout where you're like, oh, there's a hint. There's
Yeah.
another one. Oh, here's another one.
Aaron Sorkin actually has
sort
a
of get it.
cameo in The Social Network too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in it for a minute.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I will say, because it gets referred to a lot in like the whole alpha male sort of ethos, I wasn't sure if it would, be a little anachronistic or if it would be weird, but I didn't find it to be. So
You talking about Fight Club?
yeah, Fight Club,
Oh no.
not Aaron Sorkin.
No.
It does such a good job though too of like really focusing on, I mean, just capitalism, right? And like the idea of consumerism and like that just takes over people's lives and like what are we really? Are we just a series of things we own in our basement?
Right.
I mean, there's so many more layers to that movie too. But Brad Pitt, peak,
Awesome.
pretty darn close.
Yeah.
Edward Norton, also
Peak.
probably pretty close
Yeah.
to peak.
Yeah.
Jared Leto, maybe not.
Maybe not so much.
Meatloaf,
Meatloaf, absolutely. Meatloaf, absolutely. Well, yeah, no, yeah.
pretty close.
Pretty
Yeah.
This
close.
is close
Pretty
because this
close.
is post Wayne's World.
Yep.
Yeah, if I'm talking on screen, yeah. Okay, good pick. So it's my turn. So, this is weird for me that I'm not picking any movies yet. I feel like the movie pool is really deep. Like, I think
Super
there's
deep.
so many
There were so many
movies.
good films that came out. I agree.
So for me, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to swoop up my favorite things. And so I'm going to go ahead and pick TV show that debuted in 1999, and it's got to be Sopranos,
It's
right?
got to be some.
That's the other one. Yeah.
A TV show that I used to. And you want to tell the story, Lambert, better than I do? Because it probably bothered you more than it did me, because I was sleeping.
Yeah, you were. Well, were you sleeping or were you passed out? So we lived together for 2 semesters in school. It wasn't really the first one, but it was because we couldn't sleep.
Right.
But
man.
junior year, when we lived together, he would fall asleep to this show every single night. So I would wake up in the middle of the night to like the repeat music that's on the DVD home screen of like the episode, just over and
Awesome.
over.
The
and
theme
over.
song.
The theme song.
That is
But not the
awesome.
whole theme song, just like a snippet of it, because then it would stop. It would stop, and then it would repeat. Then it would stop, and then it would go back, and then I'd have to get up and turn it off every single night.
Well, it's a good sleepy show, and
It's-
I think
sure.
what's sad is that this. I feel like I wish it had been Netflix, because then I would have just turned it off after 3 episodes of
Right.
not touching the
Alas,
button.
it didn't exist yet,
But I mean,
or
listen,
maybe it probably did. It just didn't in its current
It
form.
did. It did. Netflix did exist.
It's just not in its
Just
current
not.
form.
Yeah. It was still a DVD.
not in its
delivery
form where it
service.
just can't handle all the
Yeah.
streaming traffic from a fight that happened the night before. Oh, did I say that?
yeah, it was pretty rough. But well, Sopranos, right? I mean, the impact this show had on just television, just on, I mean, the genre of like gangster or whatever you want to call it, right?
Mhm.
The mob idea. And like just the legacy James Gandolfini left with this is incredible. He's one of those guys. It's one of those like moments in history. I think you watch this when the show came on, you're like, this is something that I'm watching that's special. Like I don't know if you guys had that feeling, but I had that feeling in the season 1. Like I'm not sure I've seen something like this. And this is like peak like HBO just releasing the best shows ever made.
Yeah.
This was they did The Wire.
Yeah.
And then they did this.
Yeah.
And those are at the top of like any list you say about the greatest shows ever. HBO, any network, like those 2 shows are at the top of every single
Almost
list.
anybody's list.
And they did
yeah,
them
exactly.
back to back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And right
Actually,
before-
no, they did this one and then The Wire. I think The Wire was post this. I'd have to look.
It's pretty close, but even before that, they did Oz, which was like
Yes.
almost like a
also
Oz
a
was
great show.
great.
That was a great
testing.
show.
They're like
Yeah.
testing the waters, what we
Yeah.
can get away with, and like, okay, cool, people are into this.
Yeah.
Now let's throw this into like the New Jersey mob boss world.
Yeah, these shows actually coexisted. The Wire was
Yeah.
from 2002 to 2008.
Mm-hmm.
We have to talk about the way this
Anyways.
show ended because I think there's some aspects that
It's polarizing.
That's perhaps for another later episode, but this first season, and again, like back to the James Gandolfini, he's one of those actors that I don't think I knew him at all, really. And then you see this, and you're like, what else has he been in? And you start looking at his filmography, you're like, oh man, he's actually been in a lot of movies kind of leading up to this show. So he wasn't like he was a rookie or anything like that. Michael Imperioli, like, but you only knew him as Spider from Goodfellas. That's the guy that got shot.
Yeah.
Running his mouth
Why don't you go
off.
fuck yourself, Tommy?
I mean, Paulie Walnuts is maybe one of the best characters ever. Like Edie Falco was incredible, and then of course you got Steven Van Zandt, like just being there. You're like, what the hell is that guy doing on
was
this
good,
show? And he's
though.
in Silvio. He's
God, he
amazing.
was good.
Well, one of my favorite shows of all time. I'm pretty happy that I was able to get Sopranos in round 2.
Nice.
So
All right. The Sopranos. Okay. Back to back for me. Well, I got to do it. So I will break the seal on movie comedy, and I will pick Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me.
is this your favorite Austin Powers movie?
Yes.
Ooh. Wait, Andrew, is yours?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I mean, I think the answer is most likely it probably needs to be yes. I do really like the second one as well. No, I'm sorry. I really do really like the first one, like International Man of Mystery, but
Yeah.
this one there's so many amazing chef's kiss moments in this movie.
Yes, there are.
And so many incredible quotable movies. And like also some cringe moments now. You think back about like some of the characters that were introduced there, like Fat Bastard,
Bastard.
Mini-Me, like
Yep.
I mean, there's some moments you're like, this is just
How did he get away with this? Oh, wait. It's 1999.
I was gonna
It's
say, like, is there a
99,
better
and it's-
example of like a movie that like is very 99?
Oh, yeah.
Is this and just like Mike Myers? Period.
I don't think so.
It's pretty. It's pretty,
It's pretty
darn
damn close. It's pretty close.
close. Yeah, I absolutely love this movie. And then Rob Lowe. Speaking of Rob Lowe,
Speaking of Rob
he
Lowe.
pops in there
Sure
again
enough. Number 2.
too. Number 2.
Yep, number 2.
Okay, good pick. Back to back.
Back to back. What am I gonna do? Yeah, well, we'll go song.
Ooh.
We will go song, and we will go Smooth. Santana featuring Rob Thomas.
Yep.
I didn't even have that on my list. That's
How
a
did
good-
you not
my
have
I-
that
I
on
don't-
your list?
I don't know.
That song was
That song
literally
was
everywhere.
everywhere.
I know. Maybe that's
It
why.
put Santana. It put Santana back on the like. The Supernatural album was actually pretty good, but that song
a
put him
great
back on the
album.
map.
Perhaps that's why I didn't have it on my list because of how often it was being played.
It just
I've,
got
like
you blocked it
You
out.
blocked it out.
Like I did even on the list on the internet. I think my eyes didn't even read.
You know, I got a lot of honorable mentions in this category, so we'll get to them later. But
Yeah.
like, that was it. Well, My Name Is by Eminem was at the top of my list, and then this
Absolutely.
was second.
Yep.
So
We had very similar lists.
yeah,
So the next pick is for me. I am kind of deciding between breaking the movie seal or still focusing on some music. I think I've got some artists here that you guys are not going to pick, so I'm not really that worried about it. So let's do. Okay, you know what?
Do it.
What am I waiting so long to do it for?
Do it.
I have to pick it just because of the amount of times I saw it in the theater and the fact that the new ones that
I want to
have
know how
come
many
up,
times you saw it. But go ahead.
it was a lot. Not as many times I saw Jurassic Park in the theater.
That's fair.
That was 10. Kegel saw it 11. He beat me.
Yeah, you did.
but this was probably around half dozen or more. So I'm just gonna say Star Wars Episode 1,
Yeah.
The Phantom Menace. I mean, right? Like, who am I kidding? Like,
Well, you're gonna
I
pick
can
no,
dance
yeah.
around it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get it.
Dance around. it.
Yeah.
You're gonna,
Well, if you weren't going to pick it, I was.
Okay.
So,
all right. Perfect.
There you
And
go.
I guess I'm glad I
Yeah.
picked it here
Yeah.
because I was thinking no one else is gonna pick it. But the thing about this movie though is that at the time I was obviously obsessed with it. I loved it. It was like the first Star Wars movie that I'd been.
oh,
able
we
to
saw the
see.
midnight showing.
Yeah, live in the theaters
Mhm.
too. I
Yep.
mean, and I've talked, and I mean this lovingly. Like I've talked at great lengths about the Hildebrand parenting style, which was put this VHS in, and there's 3 movies in a row recorded, and you're going to watch the whole, original trilogy, the saga. Go
There you
Done.
go.
right,
Good.
right. Yeah, I'll get ready for dinner. I'll talk to you at dinner. Which was great. And so like I love Star Wars, and then when this movie comes out, it was like, oh man, this is going to be like my Star Wars. I'm not sure that is what essentially happened after the release of the 3. But going back and watching the first one again, which I did like a month ago, I mean, there's some pretty incredible moments in that film.
Well,
So they
we went
re-released it
together.
in the theater, and me and Adam.
weren't you there?
He was not there. It was just
Oh,
the 3 of us.
okay.
We were, because
Well,
they
yeah, we
re-released
saw
it for like
Where's
a
my
couple
invite?
days. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I thought you were there.
We missed out, and re-released. Yeah,
Yeah.
saw it in the theater, and
It was the first.
I'll tell you what, man, those lightsaber duels. Holy
Well,
shit!
and so that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like remember that this is the first time Star Wars was in the theaters since the original trilogy had been re-released, which was
which
like,
we also saw
right.
the midnight show of those.
Right.
All those
3 years
re-releases.
leading up
Yeah,
to
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
But it was the first new Star Wars film. There had been a ton of books, a ton of games, a ton of other stuff. This was the very first new Star Wars film, and it was the first time you saw Jedi like in their prime. Because the only
Yeah.
other time you saw Jedi, you had Luke, who
didn't know what he was
didn't know
doing.
what he was doing, and you had Obi-Wan, and you had Darth Vader, who were both old or
Mhm.
broken, right?
Right.
And so, like, yeah, I mean, the Duel of the Fates lightsaber scene, like
So
all of
good.
that stuff
So
was just
good.
ridiculous.
So good.
It was so good.
Some
I mean,
ridiculous parts.
yeah, I mean,
obviously.
listen, like Jar Jar wasn't my most
Trade
favorite
Federation was
Star
kind
Wars
of-
character. The Trade Federation was mildly racist.
No.
There's a lot of overt.
so was Jar Jar.
There's a lot of overt racism throughout the
really-
course of
there
this
really
movie.
is.
I think that we all
Speaking
know
of-
this.
Yeah.
Speaking of 99 movies, like
Yeah.
movies that are 99,
Yeah.
like
yeah. But
yeah,
but I
you're
think,
not making it this way now.
Mm.
but still, I mean, the opening scene, like all of that stuff, with the droidicas and all like it was just fun.
Right, yeah, and you've got the battle droids, and then
Yeah.
you've got Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon.
You've
just
got the pod racing, and
that was
Exactly,
cool.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then let's not forget. I think my favorite part of the movie actually is Darth Maul. I mean, Darth Maul.
Darth
what
Maul was a
fucking
badass.
badass
Awesome.
Sith. You're
Awesome.
like, who's this dude?
Who is this guy?
What is this lightsaber thing that he's got now with 2 sides on it? This is unreal.
badass enough that he died and they brought him back twice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a big character in Clone
Like-
Wars and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rebels.
Rebels too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Rebels, and then he pops up in Solo.
right.
Yeah.
Can't get rid of him.
You
Like,
can't get rid of him.
I mean, he's
He'll pop up in some of the new movies they're
For
making, I'm
sure.
sure.
for sure.
Well,
He's immortal. Well, maybe
if you
not.
watch Rebels. I'm not sure.
I mean, he doesn't.
But you never
he-
know.
You never know.
I think Obi-Wan finally gets him in the end.
He does.
Yeah. No, good pick, man.
Thank you.
Solid.
Episode 1, Star Wars. That's my pick.
All right. Let's see here. What do I have? Comedy, action, album, or okay. I'm gonna go artist. I think, and this is not an artist that I love, but they were very influential, and they're still today. And I remember them when they were a fly girl in Living Color.
I know what you're talking about.
So you got J Lo, who debuted
Good old
in
J-Lo.
1999.
Yes, she did.
What are our
Uh,
thoughts on J-Lo? Do we like J-Lo?
Listen, she
Throw the marriage drama out the window.
marrying Ben Affleck twice
Yeah.
and Mark Antony and I don't even know who else. Didn't she marry P Diddy
I
at
don't
one
know
point?
if they were together.
They were
I don't know if
together
they
at
were
one point.
married.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, the social life aside or whatever, like she's been an extremely popular pop artist for 25 years.
Yes.
She's in some good movies too.
And she's been in some movies, right? Like it's not like, yeah,
Out of
exactly.
Sight, Made in Manhattan.
Yeah, totally.
Good ones.
Yep.
So, I mean, she's I got nothing against J-Lo.
No.
She did great for coming out in 99. She's parlayed it into, multimedia success.
yeah, getting her start as a fly girl and in Living Color to that, I'd say that's pretty damn good.
She did all right.
She did.
Yeah,
She did all right.
totally.
Yeah.
I don't think it's true that she actually insured her ass for millions of dollars, but
If it is true, it's awesome.
pretty awesome. Yeah. Well done, Sotheby's.
Yeah. All right. Next.
All right, next for me, I'm gonna hold off on like events and wild cards and whatnot for a while. So we'll do movie comedy.
There we go.
And this for me, like there were two movies that popped out on my list that I still quote regularly. So I had to kind of do a coin toss, and I'm choosing American Pie. Amazing, hilarious film. I can't say enough. And we saw it so many times. We owned it on video. I'm pretty sure we owned it on DVD. No, I'm for sure we owned it on DVD. I may own it on Apple TV now. Like I own all the versions.
Yeah.
And 1, 2, and 3.
I need to know what you're quoting from that movie still.
Oh my god. Now it's always contextual. So like I couldn't
Stifler.
tell you.
Fuck.
I mean, I'm not saying. I just want to know. I'm
You
not
know,
saying you don't do it. I'm just really curious.
MILF.
All right, good enough. All right.
If I hit the right context, I'll get
Okay,
you.
all right.
I'll
Right.
get you.
We'll try and get.
Yeah, we'll work it
We're gonna
out. I'll
wade
figure
in
it
those
out.
waters
Yeah.
later.
Yeah,
for
we're
sure.
gonna see if we can trigger that.
Get it out of you. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's go to.
You gonna close out comedy?
Here's the problem. There are so many good movies in comedy. I almost want to just.
Oh, there's so many.
I almost want you guys to just pick a bunch and then like pick all
Well,
your
we
wild
already-
cards. I'm saying even like for wild cards and me having. I want you to force me to pick one. Like that's just how many good comedies there are, right?
Okay, I'll force you to pick it. I know which one I'm gonna force you to pick.
Do you?
Oh, I do too.
Me too. Yep, I know.
You know what? I'm just gonna do it right now because why the hell not? No, you know what? No. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it for maybe my next pick. But I do want to get this. I want to get this drama out of there because I do think there's a really impactful drama that we haven't mentioned. There's
some
quite a
great-
few
there's some
dramas.
good ones.
There's
in there.
two at the top of my
Bangers.
list. Let's
There's
see
some
which
good
one you
ones.
pick.
But I'm gonna pick the one that I think that has stood the testament of time. I think a little bit better and definitely launched this person's career, like the creator's career as well. Also, the child actor kind of revamps Bruce
Okay,
Oh,
Willis.
I know what you're gonna pick.
yeah,
I mean,
okay,
there's
yeah,
so many
yeah.
things that happened because of the result of this movie, and kind of set the standard for like big reveals.
Yep.
And I know there had been movies that have done it before. We already talked about a couple
We're
earlier.
talking about Fight Club.
Like
Fight Club, right? I mean, I don't know that anyone did it better than Sixth Sense.
No, I mean, listen,
mean-
that's a great one.
No.
Another one that when you watch back, you're like, how did like? There's actually M. Night Shyamalan coming out like says in interviews like I thought the panning in where he's saying I see dead people and then like quick shots to Bruce Willis. He's like I thought for sure I was giving it away too easily. Everyone's gonna know that he's actually dead the whole time.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
Nope,
I had
I didn't
no
either.
idea what was going
Nope.
on.
I didn't either. Again, that was another movie
Nope.
where at the end you're like, what the fuck?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they go back and they kind of show you moments and you're like, man, that's freaking incredible.
Yeah.
So Sixth Sense.
Nice.
Yeah, like I'm taking that in drama in case you didn't know.
It's
not,
like-
Yeah, no,
not
I-
comedy.
no.
There you go, Justin. It's like warm apple pie. There's your quote.
There,
Yeah.
there's your quote.
That's how I feel when I watch this movie.
There's no context, but sure.
We lost Sywell right there.
All
Well-
right.
well done.
Back to back. He's done. He's toast. So what am I gonna do? All right, we're gonna go to album.
Ooh.
We're gonna go to album, and we're going to pick 2001 by Dr. Dre.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the song that I picked, Smooth, this album, and also Hildebrand, your artist, were everywhere.
Well, yeah, and forget about Dre.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Eminem's in that, right?
Yes, he is.
So
Yeah,
he's-
yeah, he's-
I
Yes,
think,
he
I think
is.
he actually might be in a couple different songs from this album, but he is, and Dre's definitely in songs from the Slim Shady and Future albums.
He's
as
in
well,
Guilty
so-
Conscience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which that song is so fucked up, but like
Yeah, it is.
I do enjoy it. No, and so 2001, still Dre. Forget about Dre. Next episode.
yeah.
Just to name, those are the top
Keep-
three I wrote down. You
right.
keep going.
You can keep
Mhm.
going. The whole album is fucking awesome.
And again,
And we played it nonstop.
we did, and the idea of like again like Dre never went away from like pop music, not pop music, popular music, right? He was still
No, he still
in the
had his finger on the
conversation,
pulse. Yeah.
but he kind of went from Death Row Records to like now this is Aftermath Records. Right? This
Aftermath
is his whole
Records.
new thing now, and it launches this entirely different career trajectory away from that stuff.
Yep.
And eventually they bring in, besides Eminem, they bring in Snoop Dogg and some other
50.
obviously 50 Cent for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
He becomes like this producing mogul as opposed to like star maker, as
Yeah.
opposed to just the behind the scenes like producer of songs.
Right.
Which was what he did with NWA and obviously Snoop
Yeah.
and his
Yeah.
first album.
And
Chronic.
Tupac. Yeah.
Tupac too. But now it's like, oh, if he takes you under his wing, you're gonna be a freaking mega star.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could identify talent. That's for damn sure.
Good pick.
Another one. Let's see. Well, no. See, I'm avoiding categories where you've already taken it. So like, there's no pressure on me to take
Mhm.
movie drama, no pressure on me to take TV show because I already know what I'm gonna take. There's no reason for me to do it right
Wild
now.
card, baby.
Not breaking the wild card seal. Because like when I was
Care about
researching
nothing else
that,
but the
like
wild card.
like events and wild card, like those are, I kind of grouped them together because like
Yeah.
they can probably be one and the same, one or the other. I got some good honorable mentions for that one too. God. You know what? This category is pretty thin, so I'm going to do book, and I'm going to do Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
What? Have you even read that?
No, I
Have
haven't
you
seen
even
the movie.
seen it?
Nope.
That's a fucking.
But I know it's
bullshit
popular.
pick.
That
That's
is-
a
that is
full-
bullshit.
That's a
I haven't
bullshit.
seen any of the
pick.
movies.
Pretty
Actually, no,
sure-
I take
You
that
know
back.
what?
I've seen one.
Let's clear out. Andrew and I are going to not talk for 60 seconds. Tell us about Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
I can't say anything about it. I never read it. I never saw it. Wait, Gary Oldman's in the movie. He is the Prisoner of Azkaban. There, that's what I got. Nothing.
You have 45 seconds left.
I'll talk about other stuff. You want me to make more picks? I can do that.
That is so.
Man,
I'm so
that's
mad.
not
about-
even
I'm so
This
mad.
category
I'm
is
so
very,
mad at you for picking
very,
that.
very
Bullshit.
thin. I was doing research on it. I found 2, and then I
Oh, no, there's
I
some-
did
there's
more.
some
I
good
did
ones.
more, and then I upped my list to 5.
There's some good ones that came
But
up.
that's the obvious clear.
That's the only one of the
That is
ones
the
that I
clear
read.
winner as far as the most popular book that was released that year, and now it's mine.
Bullshit. Bullshit. I read that book to myself. I read it to my kids, and I've seen the movie multiple times.
Megan's read all of them. She's seen
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah.
She's collecting also like the animated ones or the illustrated one, not the animated, the illustrated versions.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
There's like big illustrated versions. She's collecting those too.
God, J.K. Rowling is just like rolling it.
Well, yeah, now they're making a new show. They're
Yeah, I heard
redoing
that. They're
the
redoing
all of the books into
shows.
a HBO Max
Yeah,
show.
I heard that.
series.
I heard that.
Interesting.
It'll probably be like 15.
I probably won't
seasons.
watch that either.
No doubt.
You never know.
All right.
All right, you're up. Sorry,
No, you got 2 picks, don't you?
I did.
He
Oh,
did.
you did do
I
two
picked
picks,
Dre and I
that's right.
picked Harry Potter.
You're right. My bad.
2 opposite sides of the spectrum.
Hmm. Okay. I think I'm going to go with a song here. And let me make sure that I'm, in fact, picking the song in the right year because I don't want to make that mistake again.
You wanna say the song and then I'll tell you.
Yes. This is a song that I still sing occasionally, and it's definitely on a couple different playlists that I have, and it's Blink 182, All the Small Things.
Hmm.
I get it right? Yes. All right. All the Small Things. This is definitely the first time I was made aware of Blink 182. I don't think they didn't come out this year. I think they had an album or 2 before this.
They did. Yeah, this was
But
Enema of the State came out.
This
This
is
year.
the big one.
Yeah,
for
this
sure.
is the big one for sure. Yeah.
Now, my favorite song by them is actually "Miss You." It's kind of more of like a ballad.
Mhm.
I think it's a beautiful song that Jay and I have tried to figure out what the hell it fucking means, and we cannot still figure it out. But we're not going to stop trying. But having said that, All the Small Things was amazing. It was actually the second. I think it's the second release from the album because the first release from the album was "What's My Age Again," right?
Yeah.
I was kind of debating between the two, but I definitely listen to All the Small Things way more, even today. So I don't know. I just really enjoy Blink 182. I think they're a great band, and this song is a banger.
Well, and the music video was a parody on boy bands, right? Was that this one? Was that this song? It definitely was.
I remember this one was like the what's her name? The nurse, like with the rubber gloves.
Well, that
and
was the cover of the album.
I
Yeah.
think, isn't that in the music video too?
I don't
Or
know.
am
I
just-
can't remember. Or
It's
maybe
fine.
it wasn't. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I'd have to look it up. And well, you got the computer, so
But anyway, Blink 182. No, yeah, it was okay. Blink 182, All Small Things was definitely a parody of boy bands. Like they're all dressed
yeah,
up.
the
in
music
those,
video. Yeah, they look like Backstreet Boys.
got the bright ass
Yeah,
clothing
yeah,
and
yeah.
like the spiked
Okay.
hair.
Yeah, that was a funny.
And I
video.
think they already had frosted tips, so like
they probably
it's already
did.
going for them.
So
that
did
way.
you.
I was definitely that's why I was doing it to be punk rock, not insane.
Not boy band. Yeah, right.
That's not true.
You and Joe Burrow. Burrow's bringing them back.
Yeah, well, that's what fashion's all cyclical.
Yeah.
All right, All Small Things, Blink 182.
All right, so I'm not going to close out a category yet, but I'm going to pick a book. Black Hawk Down came out in 1999.
Yes, it did.
I saw the film. The film was exhausting. I've never come out of a movie physically exhausted, except after Black Hawk Down. That was a really, really impactful film. Obviously, the book was too.
Yep.
So yes, I can't say that I read it, but I saw the movie, and if it was anything like the book, it would have been exhausting.
Yep. Seen the movie several times.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Excellent.
I mean, yeah, that movie is incredible. That's definitely one of those books that I guess I can still go back and read it.
It exists.
But I think it's one of those though that I think that
It's still out there.
They didn't get rid of the book. They haven't burned that book yet.
Yeah.
So I think what's nice about that though is I remember when that came out, you always hear whether a book is like true to the story.
Yeah.
Especially that. Like
Yeah,
that's
stuff like that.
That's a
Yeah.
pretty impactful moment in
Yeah.
like, in American history, military history, whatever. I think it was pretty accurate. Like
I think,
told the true
I think it
story.
was too. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
told from the point of view of the soldiers on the ground
Mhm.
in Mogadishu. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So this is my second pick. I am gonna close movie, action, sci-fi,
There we go. Here we go.
and I'm gonna close it with, because I don't actually care about this category anymore because you guys picked the two best films that came out the year. I'm gonna close it with End of Days.
Is
Here's
this
here's
the Arnold
why.
Schwarzenegger
This
End
is
of Days?
Arnold
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger, End of Days. Here's why. It came
Yeah.
out in
And
99.
Gabriel Byrne.
Yep.
Yeah,
Came
he
out in
was the
99. Like the end of the world was coming. Everybody knew the end of the world was coming. And so I'm closing it with End of Days because fuck you guys for picking the two other ones.
I mean, there were some other good ones, and I'm not going to say. The
No.
other ones that are
There
on
were
my
some
list.
great ones. But
there will be honorable mentions.
mainly to be contrarian, I'm closing it out with a shitty movie. So
a
that we
lot
can
of people
talk
thought
about
it was
other
the
ones.
end of days.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with some of the other concurrent events from that year.
Right.
Yes.
All
So,
right. Next, well, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, I think that movie, that there was like a trilogy or like a quad of movies that all came out around the same time that were
Apocalyptic.
apocalyptic
Yeah.
/ like looking at like the devil and maybe like reincarnation of the devil and like
Yeah.
the idea of Lucifer and whatnot, and then just like I feel like there was 3 movies in particular that I watched a lot, and this one and 2 other ones. I'll say it at the end, but
Yeah.
Um,
Did they come out the
Just-
same year? Come out this year?
yeah,
too?
it seemed like 99 was the year of like we're gonna re-release some like horror fantasy movies, or like we're gonna lean into that genre for a little bit, like
Interesting.
with some pretty big like actors and actresses.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Having said that though, so I'm not gonna pick my last movie. I'm gonna save it.
Well, he gets another one.
Oh, you're right. My bad.
No, because I did Black Hawk Down and I just did End of Days.
Oh, never
So
mind.
those were my
Sorry.
two.
You're good. Sorry.
I
My
flew
bad.
through my picks.
You did. You flew through. We're flying.
Well, so I guess I'm gonna go with book, even though I don't really need to, but I just want to kind of get it out of the way. I'm kind of debating between a couple. Okay, so let me ask you guys, and I'll maybe this will help me decide. Not to pick the answer.
Please don't pick that one.
But okay, so the book Stardust. Have you guys heard of it?
Heard of it? Yes.
Okay.
No.
So the book Stardust, it's like this sci-fi journey of like it's based in like a different land. A movie was remade at some point in 2000, or was made about it in 2000, I think 7, starring Charlie Cox and like Ian McKellen and Claire Danes,
Really?
Henry Cavill. Who else is in it? Ben Barnes. Is it
Might have
Peter
to find that
O'Toole,
movie.
Mark Strong, Jay? I mean, there's
That's a good cast.
I didn't even say Robert De Niro. Like, yeah, this is an amazing movie. So the reason why I'm asking the question is that the book itself had like a global release in '99, and it's actually called it's classified as a '99 fantasy novel, but they're saying it was originally published in '97, but I can't figure out where
It was on my list for
or to
99.
what scope. Okay,
I saw it on the list for 99.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pick it then, and
Pick
if
it.
there's some
No,
discrepancies
was-
later,
it-
I have,
it wa-
I have a fallback.
it showed up on a couple lists that I
Okay,
when I researched this.
We'll allow it.
all right.
Yeah.
Thank you, team.
We'll allow it.
So I'm gonna pick
Stardust.
Stardust. It was one of the highest selling novels of the year. I think it was like it was number 5. Harry Potter was number 1, and then a couple other ones. Number 5, and then I think the cool thing about the remake again is not Michelle Pfeiffer's also in this movie. I keep thinking of more people that are in it. It's
There's
crazy.
too many people in that movie.
Yeah, and I don't. Matthew Vaughn was the director. Do we know Matthew Vaughn? You guys know who? He did.
I don't know who that is.
He did like Kingsman and some other things. Anyway, so
Wow.
I highly recommend it. It's a really fun spin on like a love story based on fantasy, and it has to do with like also like class struggles because you've got like these kings and queens and the almost like the usurpers, like it's kind of like Game of Thrones esque, where you've like the king dies, and then all the siblings
Okay.
are like, who's gonna take over? And he's like, figure it out, I'm dead. And then like he throws this thing out, and whoever captures it and brings it back. So it's like this, it becomes this like quest.
Huh.
And meanwhile, the poor simpleton, not simpleton, but like the poor like townsboy like gets roped in, and then we find out there's a lot more about him and whatever. So
Okay.
Stardust, cannot recommend it enough. It's on MGM Plus. Book was very good too, and I think it was a pretty good adaptation.
Nice.
So
Excellent.
It's on my list now.
Now
Yeah.
it's on the list.
you'll like it.
To watch, not to read.
I mean, that's fair.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe to listen to. I could do the audible, I guess.
Yeah. So I will also poll the audience again, not impacting my pick, but as far as a pick that I want to make for artist. Now, the artist that I'm thinking about had stuff that came out previously when he was part of a group, but his first solo album came out in 1999. Does that count?
Oh yeah, I think Solo.
Yeah, that counts.
Little Wayne.
Nice.
Because he was
was on
part.
my
He was in the Hot Boys, and I think that like '97 or something like that. But his first solo album came out in '99.
Yeah.
And that guy is ridiculously influential. And apparently, he does not write anything down.
Really?
He does.
Really?
It's
That's
all
amazing.
straight off his head. Every single I've seen interviews with him. It's like he doesn't write them down. He just
That's remarkable.
raps.
Wow.
Yeah. Jay-Z's kind of the same way. Where like he'll write stuff down, but he's got rhymes just all. He's got songs in his head, and he just
Wow.
goes.
I mean,
That's
Fucking
pretty cool.
crazy.
I like Lil Wayne.
I like Lil Wayne too.
I do. He's one of those artists though that I feel like I like him, and whenever I hear songs by him, I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. But I don't know if I could pick him out of a lineup,
Right. Right.
or even like
yeah.
know
Yeah.
like a song. If someone said that was Lil Wayne, I'd be like, yeah, he's awesome. I don't really know any. I can't like rap for you. I shouldn't rap for you, but I also don't know any songs I could rap for you.
Yeah.
Of Lil Wayne right off the bat, but very influential.
And my next one, I'm going to break the seal on event,
Ooh.
and we'll just get this out of the way. And Columbine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things. I don't know if we need to really talk a lot about it. I would imagine most people
Know what it is.
are aware of it. I will say though that as a teacher, this is something that I frequently discuss and like have conversations with students about, as far as how ill prepared schools were and just any public places in general.
Yep.
Like as far as like
Mhm.
what happens if there is, not that there weren't shootings before then, but this was like a very organized, like systematic,
Yep.
school shooting. And now that we teach things like this about like how to prepare, how to know your options, things you can do.
Yep.
I think that we've put a lot of things in place to avoid more deaths. And not that again, shootings happen, but this was huge. This was everywhere. This was like the biggest thing.
I don't
of the
remember a
year.
school shooting before Columbine.
I don't
Right.
remember one either, and I'm sure they happened. But-
Whether if they did,
Yeah.
genuinely I don't remember one before
No.
Columbine.
And that's why it was just
And the
like,
world, like
It was so
yeah.
impactful
Yeah.
in the United States.
And the scale too, and the fact that you can
Yes.
just say Columbine and everyone knows. What
Everybody knows
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
Sadly. Cool. I get to follow that up.
Let's find some lighter.
You know what?
fare.
Now I have to
That's a
pick.
Now
tough
you
one.
got to pick comedy.
Now I got to pick.
You gotta
a
pick
movie.
comedy.
This is perfect timing. I've saved it until that happened.
Ooh, yeah. What are you gonna pick?
Um,
I'm curious.
So many.
So
comedies
many
to
good
pick from.
options.
Do I pick the one that I've watched the most? Do I pick the one that I quote the most? Do I pick the one that I laughed the hardest when I saw it in the theaters while other old people were leaving the theaters?
Oh.
Um,
I want to know what that one. Whether you
I
pick it
wanna
or not,
know
I
what
want to
that
know what that
one-
one was.
Well,
Actually,
we-
I guess I can guess what it was.
We'll have to.
but,
Well, let's.
but I'm curious.
Let's wait for. We'll cover that at the end.
Yeah,
do I
yeah.
pick like the most clever? Like I don't know if it's not a satire, but it definitely is like a. Well, okay.
Oh,
many
it's
we
a
can-
satire.
Okay.
I know what
Do you
you're
know what I'm
talking
talking
about.
about? Okay. Well, I just think I have to go with my heart. I have to pick the one that I'm a musical guy, so the fact that there's some amazing songs from this movie as well, and I believe one was nominated for an Oscar, best song. So I'm picking South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, and that was the one where the old people left the theater
yeah.
because
Okay.
apparently they thought it was
Oh
going to
my
be a
God.
cartoon, and I guess they'd never seen South Park before.
Oh my
me
God, that's
me and
hilarious.
Willis would watch that fucking movie on repeat in the
Yeah.
house.
Relax, guy. Have a beer.
So we watched that movie so many times.
Shut your fucking face. Uncle. I mean, I could sing all of the songs.
Yes.
Step one said a butt say bum, as in kiss my bum or you're a bum
hole.
hole. Step two says shit say poo, as in bull poop. Poo head and your poo is cold. Fuck is the worst word that you can say. You shouldn't say fuck. No, you shouldn't say fuck. Fuck no. There we go. Now we got more positive
That's a
vibe in
different
here.
song.
Again. Okay.
But that's not Uncle Fucker. But
Oh
No,
my
no.
God.
Oh no, there's like four
Whoa.
songs there in one that we just intermingled.
Oh yeah.
They call that a mashup.
There were so many good lines, and so many little lines. Like the one that just popped into my head was when they're in the lunch line and Cartman calls him he was like, "Fuck you, son of a bitch," and Chef's like, "Whoa, where'd you learn to talk like that?" As he's walking away, Cartman's pretty fucking sweet, huh? Just little lines like that, are
Yeah.
just sprinkled throughout that entire movie.
We apologize about Bryan Adams on many occasions.
Yeah. Blame Canada.
Hadn't you ever heard of the Emancipation
Proclamation.
Proclamation?
I don't listen to hip hop. so terrible. Oh my god. So
one
terrible.
more. I was naked on the set of Blue Lagoon, and he just
And he just
slaps her.
slaps her.
Okay. Well, I guess we got to add that to the list.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we do.
So
God,
South
that
Park,
movie's so good.
Bigger, Longer. I mean, yeah.
So ridiculous.
There's serenades and songs of Satan with Saddam Hussein, that's like the B story plot of like.
Right.
and those
It's
guys
like the
have never
underplot.
changed.
I know.
They will not change for anybody, and I love it.
There's an
Nor
amazing-
should they. I mean, and the thing is, like those guys, they are equal opportunity
Oh,
offensive.
they will.
They will.
They will talk shit
go
about
after
anybody.
anyone, and I think that's why they're able to still
Just do it.
do it. Is because they don't give a
You
shit.
can't cancel me.
Nobody.
You
can't
know what you're getting. If you don't like it, don't watch.
change the channel.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
Did you ever see the documentary about them about doing South Park?
No.
I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I'm trying to look for it, but basically the idea was what it's like to produce an episode of South Park.
Oh, I think I saw bits
and,
of that.
And one episode is what happens when they produce an episode,
Yeah.
and they start like during the season. They don't pre-create.
Oh no, they
episodes.
do it.
They do it weekly.
because
They do it every
because
week,
They
yeah.
like they're picking stuff that just happened.
Yeah.
Like a
Super
lot of the stuff
timely.
is super
Yeah.
timely.
It's almost like SNL, but like then they have to also make it into a cartoon
Yeah.
and have voiceovers.
And
all
back
that
in the
stuff.
day, it wasn't really animated either. Like it was like paper cutouts or some shit. Like it was.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
big fan of South Park.
That's a good one.
We're kind of winding down here, Lambert.
I feel like we're
Andrew?
flying.
we're kind of going.
I know
very
we
quick.
are.
Then again, the last episode I did with you guys was Pulp Fiction, and I'm pretty sure we talked for like 4 hours. so
That was a long one.
that was a good one. That was really.
That was a long one.
so much fun though.
Shout out to my Aunt Karen, who I just spent time with last night. She loves our episodes, and she lives in North Carolina, and she's dealing with all the hurricane stuff.
Oh shit.
And she said she's been like loving listening to our
Oh,
episodes, and like it's
that's
been like
awesome.
a way to kind of distract her. But she also did say, as in like let's like a sandwich a compliment with a complaint. they have to be so fucking long?
Yeah, there is that. Well,
I said,
we
well,
gotta-
we want to make sure we keep you distracted for long periods of time. So
right,
welcome.
and maybe we'll rotate towards shorter on this one. I have a feling we're getting close to wrapping up. Well, I mean, we could go for a really long time, but anyway, I'm gonna close out. What am I closing out? Album. With Californication, Chili Peppers.
That was on my list.
number 3 on my draft board.
Yeah, also mine,
It's mine too.
which is why it's listed now. So full disclosure, I don't remember a ton about this album. However, I did see Chili Peppers this last summer at Riverport, i.e.
I listened to the shit out of this album.
Yeah, well,
Holy
you know the thing is,
shit.
like I
listened to
did
it
listen to
all
the album, but
time.
I didn't like. It wasn't on repeat like Blood Sugar Sex Magic for me. Like Blood Sugar, I like that album. I listened to
Right.
incessantly.
Yeah, and that was this one for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, which
It was
tracks
constantly,
because
yeah.
Blood Sugar Sex Magic came out when I graduated high school, and
Yeah.
this came out when you did.
Yeah.
Right. But I saw Chili Peppers with my wife this last summer, and so I asked Ginger. We were on a date the other night, and I asked her. I said, "So, what was your favorite concert this summer?" And she said Chili Peppers. And the funny thing about it was she did not want to go. She's like, "Really? Do we have to see
Really?
the Red Hot Chili Peppers?" And I'm like, "Babe, it's going to be awesome." And so she
You're gonna
like
wanna go.
begrudgingly, she comes with me to the show, and they fucking killed it. 60-year-old guys, and like they rocked. It was awesome. So if they come back through, or you have the opportunity to see them, definitely go. It's a great show. So much fun.
So it's funny that you say this was your album. Mine was One Hot Minute. That was the one that I was. Then I saw them in concert when they toured.
Yeah.
But that was
Yeah.
the weird album with, what was his name? Navarro, Dave Navarro.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
sure.
It wasn't
Yeah.
John Frusciante.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Navarro. It was the one
Mm-hmm.
because he wasn't in the band for very long.
I think it was just
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
But then they come back with this. I would say, I mean, Californication has to be one of the most played songs of all time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
You
still hear
there
it.
were a ton of singles off this one.
Yeah.
Right. Even if you throw in there like just campaign slogans. I mean, how many times has
Oh,
that been
well,
used
yeah.
on California? And Scar Tissue is a huge song. Anyway,
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
a great album.
Great album. Do we get two? Did I
You
do
do
two?
get two. yeah.
Okay, one more. I feel like I'm missing something here.
Well, you've got.
Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, I got it now. I'm gonna do Event,
Okay.
and I've got two that I could pick. One of them is more globally impactful, and the other one was on the news all the time. So I'm gonna pick the Euro debuting.
That was on my list. Yep.
That was
So-
number one on mine.
That one, I spent a year in Spain from 96 to 97, and like people were freaking out
Well, yeah.
about a single currency. And like, how are they going to manage the float and all of that kind of stuff? And as somebody who's traveled in Europe, both with the euro and without the euro, I will say it's a shitload more convenient to have a single currency. Because when, like, back in the old days, when you went from Spain to France to Italy to wherever, you're converting, and you end up, as I still have, with change from 7 different countries that are
Yeah.
unusable.
Yeah.
So
It's a
yeah,
nice, it's a nice souvenir now.
it really is. I have a baggie of random change in random currencies that don't even exist.
Well,
Awesome.
I thought. I mean, I when I went to Europe, and this was in 2008, we're in the UK,
Yeah.
and they've got the pound up there at the time,
Yep.
and
still.
you cross.
and still do.
They still do, right? But then
Yep.
you cross down, obviously, into continental Europe, and that's where they got the euro.
Yep.
And then we went to, at the time, it was called Czech Republic. Now it's just called Czech or
Oh,
Czechia.
yeah.
And there they had the check mark.
They didn't have
so they
had
had
the euro yet.
Yeah, so it hadn't
Yeah.
been adapted. So,
Yeah.
but that was a giant. I mean, can you imagine being like, I'm going to go to Illinois, and like when we go to Illinois, they use the Illinois mark or whatever they call it, like the
Yeah.
Illini.
Seriously.
That would be
The,
fucking weird.
The $1.
Well, and the thing is,
dollar.
like you had the
We have
Benelux
Mobucks
countries
here.
right? Totally,
Yeah, right.
exactly. Like you had the Benelux countries that like they're all tiny. You had Belgium, Luxembourg, and Netherlands.
Yeah.
They're all really small countries, and they all had different currencies. So like you cross the border, and you're like, okay, here's my Dutch kroner. Can I get some Belgian francs, please? Yeah, it was a pain. So thank you, Europe, for making our lives easier as Americans, because we generally don't care about currency exchange. It's just a pain in the butt for us.
Yep. Agreed.
Good move.
Cool.
That was a good one.
Good move. Good
That was
move, Euro.
that was on
All
my
right.
list.
All right. So I'm going to pick the artist.
Well,
Anything
closing out
I'm going to
artists.
pick from now on, no one else. I mean, we're at the point now where we're just picking our favorite
Closing
things,
stuff out,
right?
yeah.
No one's actually going to pick the things that we all want. So
I'm curious to see who you're going to go here.
for artist,
Yeah.
well, I thought about a couple different ones, but I'm just going to go with at the time what young Justin Hildebrand was into, and was I've always considered myself a bit of a romantic.
I know who you're going.
And-
with. Go, just say the name.
Okay,
And
yeah,
I
just say
listened to many of this person's songs and albums, and whether I was high or low, he just always, met me where I was. And so I'm gonna say it's John Mayer.
There you go.
Now, interesting enough, like John Mayer, like his big album didn't hit until 2001. That was when they released Room for Squares. That's
Yeah.
like his big, but his
Right.
original
Yeah.
EP
Yeah, his first EP was
Yeah,
was this
was
year.
right
yeah.
it's called Inside Once Out, and that came out in 1999.
Yep.
So, this was apparently re-released as well in 2002.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Good pick.
I will tell you though that I did get to see him in concert.
Did you go like last year?
No, I went in like the early 2000s.
Oh,
Like, this
okay,
was in
okay.
Columbia.
Okay.
So this is when he was still touring like college venues. And it was big. I can't remember if it might have been at the Hearn Center. But that dude was on some serious drugs. Like he's just serenading people, and like when people are like messed up, they just like look right through you. He was just staring through the entire first 15 rows of people. It was quite remarkable,
Yep.
but didn't miss a note. Like just still
No.
singing
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
No.
But I don't think he took more than 4 steps in the entire show. Like he just sat
He
there and
couldn't.
played.
He would
He
have
was
fallen
unable
over.
to
Yeah, right.
move.
He would've
He might
bit
have sat down in a
He would've
chair
bit
at
it.
one point,
Right.
but that was about it. But no, I've always really liked John Mayer. So
Yeah, and he is a hell of a guitarist.
He's a great guitarist.
He is really good.
We saw him
Yeah.
last year, and he was fantastic. And like the stuff that he's done with the Grateful Dead is awesome. Yeah.
I think he's also one that
He was on
he's-
Chappelle's show.
yeah.
That was a good-
that's
that was a
right.
good
He
episode.
Great on that
Yeah.
episode. But I was going to say he's got such a unique voice that I think that he has like there are some people who you would say don't have traditional beautiful voices, but based on how they're singing and what they're singing, it's like, oh, this is like his voice is perfect for the
It's
music
in
he's
that-
making.
So- in
it's
that road, yeah, exactly.
The Bob Dylan realm.
100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I got you. All right. So I will close out movie drama, and I will choose American Beauty.
Best Picture winner.
And a fucking really good movie.
Great movie. Again, another one with a twist.
Yes. It's the year of the twist.
Did you have you guys watched that recently?
Nah.
I don't think I've watched it since it came out.
I've
haven't either.
definitely seen it since it came out, but probably not for 10 years.
I was just curious. I haven't watched it in a very long time either, and I honestly I hate to say this, but I don't think I've watched it since like the Kevin Spacey scandal.
You know he's coming back, right?
Definitely haven't seen it since that.
He's been forgiven.
I don't know if he's been forgiven, but he's in a show coming out.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hmm.
He plays the devil, which seems appropriate.
Probably why they're okay with it.
Uh-huh.
Time heals all things, except for these crazy eyes.
Mr. Deeds is not on the list.
I know it's not. I actually looked down like, no, there is another Adam Sandler.
There's
movie.
another
There
Adam
is, there
Sandler
is.
movie.
Yeah, there
We
is.
could talk
It's
about
not
it.
Mr.
Well,
Deeds, sadly.
It'll either be a wild card or an honorable mention. And then I'll close out TV show as well. Family Guy.
Yep.
I'm surprised that. I mean, what's funny is I had that like near the top of my list, but I guess once I picked Sopranos so early, I like kind of forgot about it. But I mean, talk about a show that
Jesus.
what a unique like release of that show too, because they came out with like 3 or 4 seasons. This is when we're in college,
Yeah.
like high school, college, and they kind of stop for a while, and there's like a kind of a gap in
I
when
didn't
like, their
realize that.
seasons are out. Yeah, and they
Huh.
got re-released. It was almost like got picked up by a new network, which is I'm sure what happened.
Yeah, that is what
And
happened.
then they've just been like, and then that's when they came out with all the different like spin-offs. Like then you got American Dad, and you get like
Mhm.
Yep.
the Cleveland Show, and like I mean, there may be more. Who knows? That show just keeps going on. It's like
Yeah.
Sopranos, or not Sopranos,
Simpsons.
like Simpsons, yeah.
Yep.
Or South Park.
Yeah.
Favorite character from Family Guy?
Stewie.
Stewie.
Not Quagmire.
No, not Quagmire.
Mama.
Okay.
Mama.
I mean,
Buddy.
the best episode of Stewie is Where's my money? Where's my money? He's kicking the shit out of Brian. That's
That
pretty
is
great.
cool. Brian's also a good character.
Brian's a great character.
Okay.
All right.
So it's up to me. I have two more. I've
got
got
two more.
event and wild card left. I kind of, I think it'd be fun. We all have wild cards left and see what we all pick for the last round. So I'm gonna go.
I
ahead
like
and just-
that.
I'll go ahead and pick up the event now. Now, okay. The thing I'm asking myself here is which one was I most plugged into at the time that I really cared the most about? And I guess there's really a lot. I'm just gonna go with it. I'm gonna say Napster.
That's a great one.
I think that Napster is released. Napster becomes huge. I remember Napster being one of the only people in our fraternity that had the internet and also a computer. This was my computer was like the Napster hub.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was
Yeah,
just
it was.
all day downloading stuff, like whatever it was.
Yeah.
SNL
Everybody
clips,
was at your computer downloading shit.
music, and then
Yeah.
Orpalus was downloading other things
yeah.
that I did not know, but gave my computer many viruses.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, and then obviously that spawned like all the Lime Wires and all the different like
Yeah.
spin-offs, and
Mhm.
eventually leads to really Spotify and Apple Music, right?
Yep.
and Pandora and
Yep.
all of those streaming music services, which changed how music gets distributed.
100%.
So yeah, I mean they changed the whole industry.
I was explaining this to a student the other day about how it like even came into existence and how it was legal is a loose term, like how it was able to be kept up for such a long time. And I was like, well, because they were just basically a host.
Yeah.
And then
It was a-
everyone
it
else,
was a-
they
it
were
was
the
a
ones
sharing
doing,
service.
They were
Yeah,
the
you were
ones
just-
doing the pirating.
Yeah,
were just
it was a sharing
sharing,
service.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
All right, Napster.
All right, song single for me. There's some good ones. We referred to this earlier today. Not the song, but something around the song. I'm picking "Canned Heat" from Jamiroquai, which was
Jesus. That's a good song.
which was featured in Napoleon Dynamite, which I think Justin mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And probably not the best song released in the year.
No,
but-
there's one right answer to that, and none of us picked it, but we'll get to that later.
Okay, fine.
That's the,
I may not have that song on my list. I'm curious what you know. Actually, I have a different song that's the absolute wrong answer, which we'll cover later.
Awesome.
I
I like that too.
But Jamiroquai, for me personally, was somebody I was introduced to while I was a student abroad, and he was like everywhere in '97 in Europe, and so like
I can see that.
yeah, oh
Yeah.
totally 100%,
I can
like
totally
in the
see that.
clubs, all the things like
Yeah.
the Jamiroquai remix of whatever thing.
Yeah.
So I had a soft spot for Jamiroquai, and then when he came out with the new album in '99. I remember telling Ginger, my girlfriend at the time, wife now, like, holy shit, there's another Jamiroquai album. So of course I got it, and here we are. And then he popped up again during Napoleon Dynamite.
Mhm.
So pretty cool.
That was a good album too.
It sure was.
I can picture too, not only Napoleon Dynamite, but I can picture his music videos
Yep.
too.
The hat.
Yep,
And him
with the
going
hat.
back and forth.
hat.
Yeah.
and the
Oh yeah,
it's
totally.
incredible.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It was
yep.
fun.
Yep.
All
Last
right.
round. And I think we all got wild cards.
we
This
have
is fun.
all wild cards.
So
You can't.
So you can pick anything.
Yeah. Okay. Well, great. So you can't talk about '99 without talking about Y2K.
Yeah. I thought about doing that for the.
I mean, that could be an
Event.
event.
That could be
whatever.
event. It could be a
yeah,
while.
Yeah.
It's- Again,
but-
like I was researching this, and like, yeah, I could.
yeah.
You can.
It was a whole. The thing is, it wasn't one event, right? It was a cascade of Y2K was a cascade of events, all happening kind of all at the same time,
And all built out
and
of
all the
fear.
panic. Oh, totally.
Just fear.
Right? All of
What's
the
gonna
computers are
happen?
going to roll it over to zero, and like bank accounts are going to zero out, and
I think it's
toilets are not going to be able to flush.
Well, let's make sure we like explain that to maybe listeners
Yeah,
that didn't live
yeah.
it. Like, what was the fear?
So
with
basically,
computers
the problem was most computer systems at the time were built on a 2-digit year, and so when you have something that is 99 and then rolls back to 00, it was sort of an unknown impact on what was going to happen. So like, does the computer then, if you're getting charged interest on your deposit balance on an annual basis or whatever, and the computer rolls back to 0, the fuck is going to happen? Is it going to calculate 100 years of interest? Is it going to calculate negative 100 years of interest? Like nobody had any idea what the
Right.
impact to like the global economy or system or you know airline traffic, air traffic control or whatever. I mean, I remember when I was working at the time. I worked at Enterprise Rent-A-Car at the time, and the thing that we had to do on January 1st, 2000, and this was my job, was to go into the office, make sure the computers turned on and that all of the shit worked, and flush the toilet to make sure that the toilet worked. Like it was that kind of paranoia around
amazing.
this sort of year flipping over thing. And people made, like, if you were a computer programmer in 98 and 99, you made a shit ton of money because you could charge basically whatever you wanted to whatever company to fix their code.
Mm-hmm.
I knew guys that did that.
Yeah, what a fascinating time.
It was wild.
It was
Literally 2
fucking-
digits on a computer would
Yeah,
possibly shut the entire world down.
right.
And then
And then
what happened?
And then it was
Not
a
a thing.
It was a
Nothing.
ball of nothing. But
It was
then
a
again,
big
was
fat
it,
ball of nothing.
but was it a ball of nothing because the companies had spent 2 years prepping for it,
I have no idea.
or was it a ball of nothing because it
We'll-
was really a ball of nothing?
We'll never know.
Right. What'll really bake your noodle later is, would you have knocked it over if I hadn't have said anything?
Exactly.
I can see why she thinks you're cute.
Not too
Not too
bright,
bright though.
All right, my final pick. There are so
Wild
many
card.
amazing movies on here. I could pick
Oh,
a dozen or more, and
Yeah.
not. I mean, I could pick 20 and not be mad about getting any of them. Same thing with. There's a lot of really fun events that happen in this year too. But
Yes,
do
there
some, honorable mentions, but
I'm
I gotta pick my pick for my boy, Mr. Justin Sywell, our producer, and I'm picking Futurama that debuted in
nice.
1999.
Yep.
Well done.
Went on for 12 seasons. The creators, Matt Groening, obviously the guy who did Simpsons.
You're
lot
just
of-
playing to the audience, so he picks you to win.
Yeah.
No. I think that in my defense, it was already on my list.
Yeah.
I
Right.
had it above West Wing, even though anyway.
You
Futurama.
had it alphabetical. That's why it was above West Wing.
Nope.
Okay.
Accidentally.
Sure.
Futurama, great show. This is one of those shows that I always forget how much I love it until it's like on, and I'm like, oh, this show is amazing. Like if I catch an episode of it wherever it might be streaming somewhere, it's just, I don't know, just like Simpsons. Like I haven't watched every single episode all the way through, or the entire series, but every single episode is a banger in my opinion. So, Futurama,
Futurama.
Awesome.
last pick of the draft, Lambert.
So I get to close it out. This is a lot of pressure. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Wild card. So there are still a lot of good, and I'm not going to go song, movie, whatever.
There's a lot to pick from.
I'm going to pick an actual like event or anything or something. It's just a question of like, how cheeky do I want to be, or do I want to be serious? All right, I'm gonna do the first thing that came to my head, and it is no. You know what? Fuck it.
Let's do it.
Do it. Do it.
No,
Do it.
I can't do
Just
it.
do it.
No, I'm not going to do that. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm going to do the BlackBerry,
Yep.
as it is commonly referred to as in the professional world before it died out, the CrackBerry,
Uh-huh.
because people would not put those fucking things down.
The thing that
It's-
killed work-life balance.
Right. And I mean, it launched kind of like what we have
It was the
Today.
First, it was the first smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Of-
I mean,
of now having it in your pocket. I mean, it was a dumb computer, but it was a computer that was in your pocket.
Well, I
and
mean,
it
same
kinda-
thing. just
and it
didn't have
changed the game.
touchscreen capabilities and
Yeah.
Right. It changed the game.
yeah. The BlackBerry.
fucking
Thanks a
BlackBerry.
lot. Thanks a lot, BlackBerry.
And now they're gone.
Well, that was a good pick. That was a good draft.
That was a
It was a
great
good
draft.
draft.
That was a lot
It'd
of
be
fun.
tough to see who won. Let's do some
That was
honorable
a lot-
mentions.
yeah, definitely.
Let's
There's
do
so
some-
much other
there's
cool
so
stuff
much.
this year.
We're gonna do honorable mentions.
We
and
just
then-
go down the list of like movie drama honorable mentions,
yeah,
movie
God,
comedy, blah blah
seriously.
blah blah
I
blah.
got
Yeah.
it right here.
Okay, good.
All right,
Well,
let me host.
I can host too. I'm a co-host. Let's
right,
just
Right,
do it.
Everybody's all excited.
There's so many
There's so many to talk about.
honorable mentions. Let's talk movie drama. Let's just go around in circles.
Green Mile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any given Sunday.
Yes.
I put Varsity Blues and drama, and
I put it in comedy.
I had it in
I
comedy.
feel like I go in comedy.
I had
too.
it- I had it in comedy.
I mean, you could get. You
could probably do it either way.
You could go either way on it, but I chose comedy for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one. That was the other one I was mentioning that I quote regularly.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I quote that one probably more than I should.
Dan.
I'm going to jail.
John.
I don't have any more.
You
That was
don't? Oh my god.
What? Okay.
Dude,
all
okay.
right.
I didn't write any more down.
Talented Mr. Ripley.
Mhm.
For Love of the Game, if you like baseball.
I
yet
don't care what
another-
anyone says. I love that movie.
It's a great movie. Yet another Kevin Costner baseball movie. I mean, those are like
Those are good.
His best movies are his baseball
And I
movies.
think the baseball scenes in that movie are some of the best. The
Awesome.
love story behind, like,
Yeah,
like
whatever.
I'm
Yeah.
a sentimental guy, so like I do enjoy that. It's maybe a little bit longer than it needs to be.
Yeah.
But the baseball scenes,
great.
fucking amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, totally. Mentioned it before Eyes Wide Shut. Oh no, that was before the movie or before the podcast.
No,
but
let's
yeah,
throw
Eyes
No, it
Wide
was
Shut.
Eyes
two
Wide
weird,
Shut, yeah.
two
That's
super
a weird
weird movies. Eyes Wide Shut and
A
Magnolia.
posthumous release.
Magnolia.
Yeah, Magnolia.
Yeah,
too.
both weird.
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah.
October Sky. If you're
Mhm.
a rocket type person. Bicentennial Man. Robin Williams. The Hurricane. Denzel. So here's my
Let's
own
do
personal
two biopics at the same time, or biopics that
Yeah.
and also Man on the Moon.
Man on the Moon. Oh yeah, totally. Yes. So my personal connection with the Hurricane, I actually met Reuben Carter when I worked at Enterprise in Kansas City. He was in with the Innocence Project. They were doing work in Kansas City, and he rented a car from our rental place.
Nice guy.
Fucking cool. Yeah, super cool guy. Huge hands.
Yeah.
He wasn't very tall. He was probably 5'10", maybe, but his hands were just like fucking meat hooks. They were gigantic. So yeah, really, really nice guy. He treated everybody super cool. I mean, he was definitely old school. He was like hitting on the associate, like that worked with us and whatever. But he was, he was a cool guy.
Nice.
I got a few more. I got to mention Girl Interrupted for Jana. That's
Yeah.
a really pretty.
Yep.
I'm not a big fan of that movie because it's silly fucking. It's a mind fuck, but it's a very, very good movie. Speaking of Denzel, Bone Collector,
Also,
The Insider was kind of a big one.
Yep.
Yep.
Cruel Intentions. I mean,
Oh, shoot, I
if you
forgot
like
about that
your
one.
if you like your teen
you're right,
dramedies,
teen drama.
It's definitely a drama, but like there are some comedic moments in
Yeah.
it. Being John Malkovich,
Yes.
Charlie Kaufman movie. Election was pretty huge. Movie Go. I put
Yep.
Go on there.
That was
just
on my
because it's
list.
a movie that we watched a lot.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did
that
watch
was on my
that.
list.
It doesn't necessarily hold up, but
No, and we even saw that in the theater.
and kind of like a comparison, a movie similar to that was 200 Cigarettes. Ben
I don't think I
Affleck,
saw that one.
but they're
I saw
both
that
very
one.
similar.
Yeah. I
saw that
vibes.
one.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's like New Year's Eve, and are people driving around town, and they're anyway getting in trouble.
Yep.
Virgin Suicide, Sofia Coppola, and then
there you
I got to
go.
mention Tarzan too, which was a pretty
Yep.
big animated film
Yep.
at the time.
Toy Story 2.
And Toy Story 2. Yeah, I got that in comedy, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but it's
for
like
sure.
comedy. Yeah.
Well, let's transition to comedy. So, what are some good comedies?
I've got Deuce Bigalow.
Mhm.
You got to do that one. Wild Wild West.
Must make
Which
pee
we talked about before recording, I think.
Shout out Barnhart.
All right.
Wild Wild West.
Don't encourage him.
What do you got?
I mean, I got Office Space was my
Office
next
Space.
one.
Office
that I-
Space.
You gotta pick that.
that's
one.
that's the one that I was going to say I quote a lot,
Right.
Oh yeah.
just in random office
Oh, yeah,
situations,
totally.
whatever it might
Yep.
be, or just in life in general.
Well, Bob.
We referenced it, but a different Adam Sandler movie came out this year, Big Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
The one I was talking about, the parody, which I guess it is a parody, is Galaxy Quest. Is that what you were thinking I was going
Oh,
to say?
I was thinking Office Space because that
Office
is a
Space too,
parody.
yeah.
Yeah. Galaxy Quest. Yeah, but that's a cult classic. Like that.
Galaxy Quest is
Like
fantastic.
there are Galaxy Quest cons.
Is that Alan Rickman's best role?
No.
I'm not sure, but he's pretty damn good.
He's
at it.
pretty good in it, but I mean, I'll say, you know what? I don't know.
I know it's
I
not
don't know.
really his best role.
Yeah,
Like,
but
by the
like,
way,
what
he's in
would be
Harry
his
Potter,
best role?
Lambert. In case you didn't know that, even though you
Yeah,
drafted
yeah.
the book.
Well, that's the thing. So he's
he's in
he's
that.
great in that, but also
He's also good in Robin Hood.
Also in Robin Hood, also in
Die Hard.
Die Hard. Like he's just a fucking good actor.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got another one?
I do. I got a
two.
ton.
I got a lot too.
Never Been Kissed. 10 Things I Hate About You.
hmm
Yep.
The Mummy.
Mummy is an action movie.
I put that in comedy.
No, it's an action movie.
I'd say we keep like crossing the streams here. That's definitely. I mean, there's funny moments to it. It's
I
definitely.
put it in
definitely, it's
comedy.
definitely funny, but
But
it's
it's a good
definitely
movie that came
it's
out.
definitely an action movie.
Have you been on the ride at Universal ever?
Uh-uh.
One
Good?
of the best
I've never
roller
been to
coasters.
Universal.
It's incredible. Well,
Well,
here we
I'll
go.
go in a few years.
Here we
Check
go.
it out.
Well,
Definitely an older. Take the kids when a little bit older when they can appreciate the
I mean,
roller
we'll
coasters.
we'll be taking the kids as soon as they get old enough, but
Yeah.
that's still I'm
You're,
still, I'm
you're a few
still
years
like
away
4
from that
years
one.
away
yeah,
from
you're
that.
a few,
4 or
yeah,
5.
Yeah,
so,
you're a little ways away from that.
I'm a few years away.
Dogma,
That come out in
Did
'99?
that come out in '99?
I believe so. Yeah,
You know that's
It's on my list.
that's unlocked now.
It is unlocked.
Finally.
I know. Yeah, 99.
Holy shit! I don't
Well,
know how
I
I
would-
didn't have that on my
I would have
list.
picked that one.
Damn.
I almost picked it, but I was like, I don't know, South Park. It was between South Park and Dogma. Those are my two.
Dogma. Yeah, I don't know how I missed that one.
And
would've
I
picked that one.
honestly, I think if I had been able to watch
The Buddy
Dogma
Christ.
in the last 20 years, I maybe would have picked it. But that's definitely one I do quote a lot.
I own
haven't
that.
seen it
I have a
forever.
copy of it, so I
You
do
didn't,
I
own
say-
that.
you didn't say God
Dude,
bless you.
I say bless you for that reason.
didn't say
That
God
move
bless
that
you.
movie scarred me.
You're getting off light.
Like,
I know. I'm
you
coming.
Mhm.
Mystery Alaska.
Yeah. Okay.
Another mystery movie, Mystery Men, also came
Mystery
out.
Men.
Terrible. You mentioned Election, I think. Runaway Bride. If you're a shit, now her name escapes me.
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts. Which also Julia Roberts was where the fuck is it? Notting Hill.
Yep.
They both came out that year. It was a big year for her. Never Been Kissed.
Yeah, there were a lot of like
Rom-coms.
high school
Rom-com
rom-coms
type films.
No, Never Been Kissed
Yeah.
isn't necessarily
10 Things
that,
I Hate
but-
About You. Well,
10
I mean,
Things I Hate
I know
About
you
You.
already mentioned it, but like
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen that movie.
Oh yeah.
I fucking love it. It's The Taming of the Shrew,
Taming
but
of the
like
Shrew.
it's
It's still a
fucking-
great movie.
It's brilliant. It's Shakespeare.
Yeah.
It holds up.
Yeah.
It's Heath Ledger.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean Shakespeare.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
It's Shakespeare. So yeah.
She's All That.
Yep.
Also a
Yep.
high school
Yep.
comedy. I hate to say
Also
it,
a remake. Pygmalion.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. If we're talking about Drew Barrymore too from Never Been Kissed, she's also in Fever Pitch. I know it's a movie that St. Louisans won't mention because it's about it ends in us losing to the fucking Red Sox, but I actually like
Fair.
that movie.
Yeah. You mentioned Band on the Moon. Stuart Little. If you're a parent of small
Huge
children.
movie. We
Yeah.
weren't that age to really appreciate
No.
that movie, and that was also M. Night Shyamalan.
Was it?
Yeah, he's involved with that.
I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure he was like the writer.
I mean, I'm
or
not gonna
something.
say you're wrong. I just didn't know.
I'm pretty certain, but I could be wrong.
A Pushing Tin, which was John Cusack.
Air traffic controllers.
Yes.
Yes.
Air traffic controllers.
Yeah.
The great scene in that where he's like on the tarmac as the airplane is going over him. Pretty awesome.
I got to throw one more movie out there. It's called Life
Oh yeah.
with Eddie Murphy and
And Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence.
I like that movie. It's so stupid and terrible, but it's
So
good.
here's another one. This is not on any of your lists, but it popped up on mine, and I definitely said Happy Texas.
I do not
What's that?
know that movie.
It's it's about and I didn't research it because I just saw it on a list. I was like, holy fuck, I haven't seen that movie in forever, and it was hilarious. But it's about two basically escaped convicts who pretend to be like pageant coordinators in Texas.
It's got Steven Zahn
And
and
it's
William
got-
H. Macy in it.
Yes.
Oh my
Enough
gosh.
said.
Okay.
Yeah, William H. Macy is he's the sheriff of the town, but like they're escaped convicts, and somehow they weaseled their way into this, and just
Wow.
it's a funny movie.
What about some sci-fi, action,
Oh, dude.
fantasy, basically any other genre that we didn't mention yet?
World is not enough. I mean, you can't talk if there's a Bond film, you have to talk about it.
Do we have to talk about that one though?
No, I mean, yes. Not the best Bond
This
film,
is
but it is one.
But this is when the Bond movies got like just crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I mean, I've seen all of them.
Yeah.
And I was definitely
Yeah.
entertained at the time. But
Yeah.
it was like World is Not Enough, and then what was the one after that with Halle Berry? Die Another Day, and it was like invisible cars and ice
yeah.
hotels and
Yeah.
crazy
And
shit.
they sort of rotated back with the Daniel
Wasn't
Craig.
Denise Richards like
Yeah.
a rocket scientist in
Yes.
The World is Not
yes,
Enough?
she was. Yes.
I mean,
Super believable.
obviously believable.
Obviously
so
believable.
that's-
Obviously, totally. I don't know what you're talking about.
When you said End of Days, the two movies I was thinking of that came around the same time, Stigmata
Ooh,
and
yeah.
Stir of Echoes.
Stir of Echoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
that was a good one.
Yeah,
All
good
three of those, that was like the Like the 3 films.
Stigmata
If
was
I was like,
fucked
I
up.
feel like getting scared tonight, I'm just gonna watch
That
one of
movie
those
was
three
messed
movies.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Stigmata was fucking
Yeah.
fucked up.
You know-
Yeah,
I
it
thought
was.
Stir of Echoes was pretty messed up
Stir of
too.
Echoes was pretty messed up.
End of
too,
Days
yeah.
was like the fun
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger version of
Yeah,
both of
totally,
those.
totally.
Let's
You know,
blow shit up.
the one that I think got the most, the movie maybe that whole year that got the most buzz was Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, even like The Matrix, which was
I
arguably
got
the
motion
best movie
sickness
in the
seeing
year.
that in the theaters.
Like that one, my wife did. Ginger and I did. We saw it. And we sat way too close.
found footage, like basically films.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say it's the first one, but it's the most popular one. And I saw this in Texas, and I was with Pursunis, and I did not know, and I was visiting a girlfriend at the time, I did not know that it was fake. Like the marketing had gotten me. I hadn't seen any of the people, and it was like the first weekend. So I went in, and I was like, this is the most fucked up thing I've ever seen in my entire life. We just watched people get murdered. How is this like? And
How is this legal?
No
and you couldn't look
way.
this up. You couldn't Google it. You go home and you watch TV. And I think they were on like the Tonight Show a
Yeah,
couple nights
yeah,
later.
yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, I can like go into the woods again.
You can breathe.
But at the
Oh my
time,
God,
I was
that's
like,
amazing.
I mean, the moment of that guy standing in the corner
standing face in the corner.
is
Yeah,
the most
fuck that.
brilliant,
Nope.
but also most terrifying
Nope.
moment that I can remember seeing in theaters.
Yeah.
No.
And also there were some pretty funny, like I kicked that fucking map in the river. I mean, come on.
Well, because it's like what would happen if 3 of your good friends went into the woods and
Right?
you started getting lost? You would just fucking yell at each other and bicker about them.
100%.
Like, if there was if recording devices happened, you would have heard us say that kind of shit to each other in our fraternity room
Absolutely.
every other night. for sure.
Absolutely.
Boondock Saints.
Boondock Saints.
Doc Saints. We have already talked about that one.
Yeah.
Before.
Did you guys do that one?
we did that one.
Oh, I'll have
Yeah,
to,
we
I'll
did
have
that
to
one. with
listen. I missed
Pascal.
it. Oh, that's a great one for him.
A shark ate me. A motherfucking shark ate me.
Deep Blue Sea.
Blue
That was a
Sea.
good one. Juice.
I mean, Deep Blue Sea. I don't care what you say. That's a fun, stupid movie to watch.
Yep.
I enjoy that one. Any Given Sunday, one of the best football movies
Great
I
one.
think
I
ever
put
made.
that
Great
under
one.
drama.
Yeah.
It can go either way.
True.
Payback.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. Double Jeopardy.
Arlington Road's a big one too. All right, let's move on to TV. I only have a couple ones we didn't mention.
Yeah, I only have a handful too.
Same.
You want to?
Yeah.
Do one.
I'm gonna name one. Jana would be mad if I didn't. She's gonna be mad that I didn't pick this. Law and Order SVU
Yep.
came out in '99,
That's a good one.
and it's still going strong.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
That's a good one.
Is that your final answer? Yes, it is. Thanks,
good.
Regis.
SpongeBob.
Freaks and Geeks,
Freaks.
a one-season
A one-
phenomenon that sadly, if that came out today in the Netflix era, that would have been that they'd release that new season every 2 or 3 years, like
Yep.
Stranger Things or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That show was, and that launched so many people's career.
Yeah, it did.
WWE SmackDown debuted
Fuck
in
yeah.
1999.
I only had one more. It's called. Have you ever heard of One Piece?
Nope.
No.
It's like this. Have you heard about it, producer Justin? So it's this show that it's like a series that has been released, being released since '99, and it's let's see, it's about people like these characters trying to like find buried treasure, and it's what's it called? It's a fantasy, sci-fi. It's definitely like animated. I think it's actually considered manga. Manga, yeah. Anyway, it's been going on since then, and there are 110 volumes, and each volume is like however many. It's like
Wow.
thousands of episodes.
That's a ton of
It's
content.
it's crazy. Like so, if you
Jeez.
ever want to like even just turn it on at one point, I've never watched it, but I've heard people.
What's it
talk
called
about
again? Did
One
it-
Piece.
One Piece.
And they
Okay.
just released like a live action version of it on Netflix.
I was gonna say, I feel like I did just see something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
but the manga debuted in '99.
Huh. Wow.
So,
That's impressive.
It's Japanese animated.
I've got 2 more for TV. I've got Batman Beyond, if you're a Batman person,
show.
and The Man Show.
What a fun moment in time. Then not only did that happen, but then like Jimmy Kimmel was
It
like one
launched
of the
a couple of
co-hosts.
careers.
Yeah, it did.
Adam
crazy.
Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel.
Let's go through just when you do album, song, and artist, kind of all the music
God.
stuff.
Okay.
These kind of cross over with one another. So
They do.
I'm gonna say the one that I can't believe no one said, which is Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Maybe One More Time.
One More Time. Not only the album, but also the
But
single.
I'll say the one that I can't believe you said. You didn't say Millennium by Backstreet Boys.
It's on my list. It's on my list, buddy.
Of course it is.
I was
It's on my
worried.
list too.
I thought Millennium, Backstreet Boys, or Eminem. I was like, which one, what speaks most to me?
Right.
And I probably should have picked Millennium. I also had for album, and I messed these years up, so sorry, but didn't Rage Against the Machine come out? Like
Battle of
Los Angeles?
Battle of Los Angeles.
came
Yeah.
out.
That was
With
on my list.
Pestify on it. Like, that's a
Yeah.
pretty big freaking
Yeah.
song.
Sleep Now in the Fire's on that. There's a lot of good songs on that.
Mhm.
Moby had an album out that year.
Play. Big one.
TLC came out with Fan Mail. So no Scrubs.
That was on my singles list.
Yep.
No Scrubs was on my singles list. Yeah.
I don't know if he debuted. I don't have him on my debut list, but it was the first time I remember him. But Ricky Martin.
His single was on my list,
Yep.
not the album. But
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm on my album. I'm looking at my album list.
No. I'm looking at my
So artists, I had 50 Cent as like, I think that, but it was more of like a couple singles he released that weren't like widely
his
released.
EP he made one and then he got shot 9 times and
Yeah.
then it didn't come out, so like his first album didn't come out until like 2002.
Yeah,
he
but
was
I
on
have him-
like cuz they said
03,
yeah, cuz they said he was on the list, and then I was like, "Oh, well, yeah, I'm going to pick him." And then I did more research. I'm like, did he really debut in 90? It didn't look like he did.
Yeah,
so.
he was on. Yeah, I had him too, but I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ludacris.
Ludacris was high out. Like if I wouldn't have picked if someone else
Yeah.
would have picked Lil Wayne, I would have picked Ludacris because I listen to a lot of Ludacris.
Yeah.
Luda. Singles.
Mhm.
I had No Scrubs.
Mm-hmm.
I Want It That Way. Genie in a Bottle
Yep.
was also Christina. Say My Name.
Yep.
But then the correct answer that none of us chose for obvious reasons was The Thong Song by Cisco.
That's fair.
Oh,
That
man.
is the single of the year.
That was bopping when we were down in Cancun. That was the big song.
Oh, it was the summer. It
Not
was the
on
song of
that
the summer,
trip.
man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't.
the
No, I wasn't there.
No, you weren't there.
I was not there.
the wrong answer for this category
Oh yeah, I want to hear this. one.
was "Satisfy You" with Diddy and R. Kelly.
Holy fuck.
Never be
That-
spoken of.
That song.
What?
That didn't age well.
cut that.
Cut that.
All right, let's get into book.
Wait,
and-
hold on,
sorry,
because
you
we
got
don't ever talk about country. So Don't Impress Me Much, and Man, I Feel Like a Woman with Shania Twain came out.
Yeah.
Cowboy Take Me Away. They're called the Chicks now. They used to be back then. They
really?
were the
That
Dixie
was-
Yeah,
Chicks.
Shit, I'm mad at myself.
Dixie
for not
Chicks
having
came
that
out.
one.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
that one.
And then shout out to Mambo Number 5. Lou Bega. I don't know why, but that was our mom's favorite song that year. It's the most misogynistic song for a woman who is like, she embodies female empowerment. I don't know why she loved it, but she loved that song.
Yeah. Okay.
Yup.
What, we ready for books?
Sure.
So I only had a couple more, and I think the actually the second highest selling book besides Harry Potter was The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yep.
Yep. It was.
And they made a movie about that too,
Mhm.
which had all connects back to Harry Potter. It also had
Actually, all the other books on my list they made movies.
They
out
turned
of.
into movies. Yeah.
but that had Hermione Granger in it. Perks
It
of
did?
Being a Wallflower.
I didn't know that.
Perks of Being a Wallflower had 3 major people in it. So it was what's her name? Emma Watson, had Logan Lerman in it too. And it also had, again, someone who has made some bad decisions as of late and is pretty canceled, Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
But then it also had Paul Rudd and Dylan McDermott. Like, it had a lot of people in it.
Okay.
And a young Julie Garner. Do we know Julie Garner?
Yes.
From Ozark?
Ozark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Other books you want to list? One?
Yeah, if I can, Bridget Jones' Diary,
Yep.
another book that turned into a movie.
That's the first one, too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the.
My
first.
mom fucking loves those movies.
Really?
I don't know why,
That's
but
funny.
she is obsessed with them.
A
And there's
walk-
a new one coming out. Did you guys
Yeah.
know that? There's
No.
a 4th
Really?
movie coming out next year.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Nice. I won't
Does
watch
it
that
have
one either.
Renee
It
Zellweger?
has
in it?
Renee Zellweger and also has Hugh Grant in it. No Colin Firth. What's up with that?
Huh.
I don't know what the fuck's up.
I don't
with
know.
that. That's
Weird.
bullshit. A Walk to Remember.
Walk to Remember. Yep.
Nicholas Sparks.
Yep.
Lemony Snicket.
Yes.
The Bad Beginning, which
Yes.
is the first book, and also the second one came out in the same year, The Reptile Room,
Yep.
Okay.
Also been turned into, well, not movies, but a mini series.
with MPH.
Yes. If you are a fan of business literature, Who Moved My Cheese came out in 99.
Never heard of that book.
It's worth reading. It's worth
Really?
reading. It's about change.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. I just have one more book, and that's called Seabiscuit, An American Legend.
Oh, nice.
I love that movie.
Nice.
Which, yeah, I think it's kind of loosely based off that,
Yep.
obviously.
That was on my list.
Let's see. I've got 2 more, Cryptonomicon and White Oleander. Also both came out
Okay.
in 99.
Yep.
Last category, and then we'll do some recaps. Events.
Fuck.
I'll-
We'll do event / wildcard. We'll just
Yeah,
lump them
let's
together.
blend.
Oh, yeah, the same thing, whatever. So,
You-
I'll just
go.
start. Clinton's impeachment.
Yep.
The
That
trial
was a big one.
starts, and he's acquitted.
What does the
Yeah,
what
on
does
February
is depends
12th.
on what is
Right.
means. What's the definition of is?
Yeah.
Amazing.
You want to go?
Sure. Yeltsin resigns and Putin becomes acting president in Russia.
That was second on my list.
And here we are,
And
30 years later.
He's still the president.
still the president of Russia.
Air quotes.
Yeah,
President.
something. I don't know.
He's something.
I don't know what he is, but he's the leader of Russia.
He is the leader of Russia. So one that's well, hold on. I was writing some stuff down as I was thinking about it. Wayne Gretzky retired
Yes, I had that.
from and then they actually waived the rule, and he was immediately inducted into the Hall of Fame in '99. He didn't have to do the waiting period like they normally do.
5-year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're talking about the debate has come up now recently of like, 'cause like with Sidney Crosby,
Crosby
and Ovechkin,
and
of like, are
Ovechkin.
they just going to waive it? Like,
Yeah.
the guys are going to walk into the Hall of Fame.
They
Yeah,
Just
they
waive
just give
it.
it to him.
Just
Yeah.
give it to him.
Yeah.
So, but he was the last person that did that for.
Yeah.
Gretzky.
So do you know the outcome of the last game he played? Gretzky.
No, I
Do
know he
you?
got a
I
point.
do actually.
Then tell us.
Yeah, they lost. So the Rangers lost to the Penguins in overtime, 2-1.
But he scored a goal, though.
He had an assist.
Yeah,
And
an assist.
That's what I was
Yeah.
He had an
Yeah.
assist.
Stud. Let's keep it in sports. Tiger
Yeah.
Woods.
Yeah, he won.
Tiger Woods wins his first PGA championship at 23, actually at Medina in Illinois. And I played Medina. We played that course
Oh
the
wow, cool.
weekend of. Well, there's 4 courses at Medina, so there's like 3 or 4.
Okay.
So we played like B or C. We weren't allowed to like.
You didn't play the A course?
We didn't get in here A, but
One A or
but it was the
one
weekend
B.
of Jeremy's bachelor party. We went and played.
Oh,
that
that's
course.
awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's awesome.
beautiful course.
Okay, sports wise.
I didn't play golf. I was
You guys all met us.
I was
up
I was
there.
on that trip, but I did not
We
play
hit the
golf.
course on the way up
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. We were in Chicago.
You're not a golfer.
No, no.
Yeah, you're
But
like
I
me.
do.
You play
I
once a year.
I play once a year for work.
Yeah, pretty yeah, just
With
like
the
me.
same 3 guys
Yeah.
at work.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
And my clubs are still in my car from that work.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
And no, they're still. I'm telling you, they're still in my car. They've been in my car for 6 months now.
nice.
Just in my trunk.
That's where mine sit. Mine actually come out though.
Lance Armstrong won his first Tour de France
Yep.
that year. Anything else for sports? I've got one more.
I got one more for sports.
Good.
Tony Hawk's 900.
Oh,
That was
Stud.
the first
Wow.
time he landed the 900
Shit,
for the
okay.
first
And then,
time
fun fact: in
99.
2001, I landed it on the game.
Well, Tony Hawk's Tony Hawk Pro Skater came out this year too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
took me
That's
about 6
funny.
months to.
Yeah, but you
knock
finally-
it out.
to land the
finally-
900.
finally
You got
got
it there.
it.
You got there
Yeah.
eventually.
It was way
Probably-
easier on Tricky.
Probably,
that
probably
was
about how long it took him to
great.
perfect it too.
Yeah,
Right.
probably. Yeah.
Did you have any?
I was gonna
I
say
got one more.
adjacent. The Millennium Dome opened in London, which is like a gigantic
Oh, nice.
stadium.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. So Serena Williams won her first Grand Slam
Yep.
at the U.S. Open that year.
Badass.
The iMac came out.
Ah. Okay.
The big ass fucking
The
multicolored.
and then
Multicolored
also
one?
the Power
Pretty
Mac
sweet.
is also came out.
Okay.
I just got a kind of a fun one. The last Checker taxi cab was retired in New York City.
No
Sons of
way!
bitches.
Wow.
Mhm. That's all I got for events and wildcard. You guys take it away.
Oh my God, so many.
I mean,
John,
there's
you want to
a
go?
ton more, but
Yeah.
So one that's not on my list, but I remember reading about it. The first GPU,
Really?
the graphic processor
Yeah,
made
yeah.
by GeForce, who actually has I have a GeForce GPU in my laptop at home. The first one came out.
Okay. Panama Canal was turned over to Panama
Ah.
after almost 100 years.
Mhm.
Oh, and along those same lines, Macau was turned over to the People's Republic of China that year from Portugal after 442 years. Yeah,
big
pretty
deal.
wild.
Woodstock '99.
I have
I
that.
had that on my list and I like deleted it. I actually pasted
I
it
have
and then
to
just
mention.
deleted it.
I have it. I was like the debacle. JFK Jr. died in a plane crash that year. On the tragedy side, you've got the A&M bonfire that collapsed.
Yep.
I actually had a friend who went to A&M, and like she was at that. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going tragedy, I guess I'll throw one more in there. There was the giant earthquake in Izmit, Turkey that killed over 17,000 people.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up with some positives. and then,
Okay.
So the one that I was debating was, and I guess it doesn't. It kind of counts as '99, but it kind of counts as 2000. But I'll say it anyways. I was going to say Dry 2K at Mizzou.
What? What is this?
So
I
our
was gone,
freshman
so you're gonna
year
have to tell me.
in 1999, our freshman year was still that they made the decision of like after that school year, the campus was going dry.
Oh.
So we couldn't have any. So like obviously people still drank in dorms and houses,
but you couldn't have like
parties.
Six ways and
You could not have
progressives and shit.
Yeah, no, you couldn't do that anymore.
Oh, that's too bad.
So there was So we actually this was in 2009, but we knew about
Yeah.
it in '99 and we called it Dry 2K.
Dry 2K. Yeah.
So we flew on the last day of school. We flew a Budweiser flag at half staff
Nice.
at the fraternity.
Of course you did. Nice.
yeah, along those same lines, Sigma Nu was also placed under double secret probation. in
That
the
was
fall of
that was
1999.
no, that was later. That wasn't that was while pretty sure that was while you were in leadership.
Well, it also happened when we were freshmen. too.
I did- well,
So
I don't-
I went to that.
So I don't remember
meeting.
it then, but
Yeah.
I remember it. Actually, no, I do remember it
I know.
because we all went to the meeting
I told you,
and we wanted to walk out like Animal House, but we didn't.
but we were told not.
We were told not to.
I forgot a sports one. Brandy Chastain scored the winning penalty kick against China in the final of the FIFA Women's World Cup.
Is that the one where she took off her shirt?
Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
Yep.
I think that's a good place to end with events. I mean, can you?
Oh, no, I got one more. Sorry. Jon Stewart debuts as the host of The Daily Show.
That's
actually
also an
that's a
equally
one.
good place to
That's a
end.
good one.
That's
Yeah.
a good.
And
place
now
to
he's
end.
back.
Now he's back.
Now he's back.
One night a
Fight-
week.
Fighting the good fight. Let's do a recap. First pick, John. You go first.
Okay. Well, I'll just work my
Go
way
through
down.
your list.
So movie drama, I have American Beauty. Comedy, I picked Austin Powers. Action, The Matrix. TV show, Family Guy. Album, 2001 by Dr. Dre. Song, Smooth by Santana featuring Rob Thomas. Artist, Lil Wayne. Book,
You said that wrong.
Lil Wayne.
There you go.
Sorry.
Little Wayne.
Little Wayne.
Said that wrong, white boy.
Book, and one I'll never read, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Event, I have Columbine, and then the wild card, I have the good old Crackberry phone.
Justin here. I've got for movie drama, Sixth Sense. For comedy, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, South Park. Action, sci-fi, and everything else, Phantom Menace. TV show debut, The Sopranos. Album, The Slim Shady Project by Eminem. Song and single, Blink-182, All the Small Things. Artist, John Mayer. Book, Stardust. Event, Napster debuts, and wild card, the start of Futurama TV show.
Awesome. And I'm Andrew. I've got as movie drama Fight Club, movie comedy American Pie, movie action sci-fi, etc. End of Days, TV show The West Wing, album Red Hot Chili Peppers Californication, song single Jamiroquai Canned Heat, artist Jennifer Lopez, book Black Hawk Down, event debut of the Euro, and wild card was the Y2K series of events.
Awesome. Big year 99. Let's get producer Justin on here to give us some immediate feedback.
Yeah,
Some-
man. Tell us how
You
we
want
did.
to tell us who won and why Lambert's disqualified?
Right.
I mean, you said, was that plural? Why Lamberts are
Tell us why.
Both
Tell
of
us why. We know why John is. Tell us why Andrew is. Tell us-
I mean, oh man. So okay, I love The Matrix. I love Family Guy. I love Austin Powers. Yeah, I was vibing with that one. I really remember Columbine. I think everyone does. I had a BlackBerry. I loved it, not realizing what it was doing to my brain.
yeah.
Thus, the workaholic was born. But I was going to say, Andrew was carrying. I was with Andrew all the way through with The West Wing because that's an amazing television show. Fight Club. Chuck Palahniuk is one of my favorite authors, and I love that movie. I'm with you on the debate, the debut of the Euro, having like you traveled in Europe both pre and post Euro.
Yeah, right.
Oh man, I downstairs I've got Deutschmarks and Italian lira and French francs, and I'm like, what am I ever going to do with any of this? But
Yeah.
whatever.
Put them in a case.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Put them in a
A
case.
shadow box.
But also, I can quote everything from Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. All I could think is, what would Brian Boitano do if he were here right now?
I'm sure he'd kick some ass or two. That's what Brian Boitano do.
I may or may not have had a lot of Napster running all the time.
Yeah.
I think the statute of limitations is up on that.
Yeah, I think so.
It
I think I'm
probably
probably
is.
safe
We're
to
probably-
say
Evidence
that.
has definitely been destroyed at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But John Lambert, you are correct that Justin was kind of playing to his audience here. Futurama gets it, like hands down.
I told you.
I can quote every episode I've seen, especially from the first season, and the number of times I'll randomly drop into a family or to a Futurama quote. If someone ever hands me something, I'm always like, "Thank you, I deserve this." And I'll just think like, whenever I hear a news story that's like, "The city is using connections," I'm like, "The city using its mob connections." I'm like, I love Futurama, so yeah, that gets it.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, we're going to
Awesome.
be posting pictures and images of all the stuff that we did, as well as obviously the episode at some point in the future. So give us some feedback. Tell us who won. This was fun, guys.
This was fun.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Thank you again for having me.
What
This
an
is a
awesome
blast.
year. What an awesome
What a great year.
conversation. Great company. Andrew, thanks for being here again.
Thank you. Yeah.
We always love you having you on here. Lambert, well
Obviously.
done, sir.
Hey, thanks, man.
It was fun.
You too. You as well,
Oh, thank you.
obviously.
Yes. As I saw always, we got all the socials, all the podcast platforms, even YouTube. So give us a like, give us a follow, give us a watch, give us a listen. And speaking of, our next episode that we're going to be releasing is we're going to break into Footloose, the
Footloose.
40th anniversary. We're going to bring in Megan, formerly Megan Stone, and now going to be Megan Lambert,
My better half,
his wife.
who is a Footloose fanatic. She's
Yeah.
going to do a lot of talking on this episode.
That's great.
I'll just sit back and shut up.
I'm super excited, and I got to tell you, like, I'm a closet Footloose fan. I don't mind saying.
I don't know who isn't a closet Footloose. I mean, unless you're overt about it, Footloose is a great film.
I mean, I can literally hear, like, I was listening to an 80s playlist the other day, driving somewhere with my wife, and I said to her, I go, I know what dance they're doing at what
Based
parts
on the
of
song.
this song.
Yeah.
Like, I go, right now, there's
Yeah.
that one guy doing the robot, or the robot. Here's that one guy with the suspenders. I'm like, how is this ingrained in my brain? So that'll be fun to talk about.
Love it.
All right. Well, until next time, talk to you then. Bye-bye.
Thank you.